Previously on Dark Heresy.
Episode 30. Victorious. The acolytes tended to their wounds and made preparations to advance further into the heart of the victorious. Jan was deep in thought, for Arnold had recovered from his killing frenzy and seemed not to remember the utterance of the heretical words. Jan pondered. How should he deal with this? It seemed to him that he stood upon a crossroads, one of the nexus in the junctions of space-time. Some decisions could seriously affect the future, change his very fate. How to deal with the display of open heresy? Arnold had been slipping for some time, flaying men and chopping meat.
In the name of the Emperor.
He was losing his humanity. Perhaps Jan should take care of the problem himself, snuff out the heresy before it could develop further. How simple it would be to sneak up to Arnold whilst he slept and slit his throat. Perhaps he should report this to his superiors, let them sort it out. A squad of stormtroopers would come and take him away, imprison him. How would they punish such a crime on board this ship? Death by airlock, perhaps? Or should he turn a blind eye, forget what he had seen and heard? Surely that would make Jan complicit. Perhaps Arnold could be saved. Perhaps he could be turned away from the chaotic path. Or was there a fourth option, unseen to him? Jan, in a glimpse of prescience, saw the chance for redemption. Arnold's soul could be saved, if only it could be persuaded away from the path of the Red God. There was more to life than death and bloodshed, surely. Arnold must regain his humanity, turn aside from the life of the psychopath berserker. He must give up the cold black iron axe Phobos willingly. Jan saw more. He saw that Alexa and Quintius too were at risk of eternal damnation. Alexa was already a mutant, and she had shown a distinct lack of empathy during their missions. Alexa had vented hundreds of innocent crew to the cold embrace of the void, sentencing them to death by cold and asphyxiation. A terrible, merciless way to die. True, she had also saved thousands more by her actions, and slaughtered hundreds of the deadly orcs at the same time. And she had managed to save Kyoshi from the same fate. Surely that must count for something. Alexa had saved the ship and all hands. Quintius seemed a decent chap, but he had lingered for too long in the Honeypot Casino. He had fucked a beckoner, a mutant whore, who seemed little better than a demon. She had surely been a demon in the bedroom. Quintius had gone back for seconds. There were risks to pursuit of pleasure this close to the miasma. Jan saw that all his companions were at risk, but he knew that the paths to their salvation would become clear to his future sight. He could save their souls. The acolytes, having recovered themselves as best they could, thanks to Jan's psychics and medkit, advanced into the next corridor. Awaiting them was a monstrous mutant, grossly massive. The rednecks chanted for their champion. 30, 30, 30. The fatty wore a sackcloth over its head and wore ill-fitting dungarees. It wielded a crude industrial cutter. Fatty moved to attack. Arnold, whose emotional state seemed unstable, lost heart at the sight of the mutant and fled. Supported by Alexa and her new heavy machine gun, and the stormtroopers with their pump-action shotguns, Quintius and Jan advanced into the next corridor. A brutal firefight ensued. Fanatics were felled. Another suicide bomber rushed towards them. Not again, thought Jan. He concentrated his psychic force to crush his foe. The bomber's limbs were snapped, and he crumpled to the floor. The fanatic managed to utter "Jihad!" before the psychic attack prematurely detonated his explosive payload. Fragments of bomber showered the corridor. No others were hurt by the blast. The fatty was getting closer. Alexa's heavy machine gun had fired round after round into the bloated beast, but it seemed to take little damage from the salvos. Rather, it appeared that it was regenerating the wounds that were inflicted. The chainsaw grew loud in their ears. Arnold had regained his nerve and rejoined the fight, and the stormtroopers advanced too. Arnold flung a crack grenade at the fatty, but rolls of unnatural blubber seemed to consume the deadly grenade. A second crack grenade only seemed to singe the mutant. Surely this was the work of chaos. With a raw, fatty charge that lasted short distance and engaged the forces of the Imperium. Quintius found himself pressed close to the beast. Beside him were Jan, Arnold, and 5 stormtroopers. Drew their monoknives and shanked their enemy. Jan and Arnold, normally so deadly in combat, a number of glancing blows against the fatty. It was as if it felt no pain. Hunks of ablative blubber were hacked off. Alexa continued to fire round after round into the creature. Quintius fired his articulator autopistol directly into the eye holes of the sackcloth that masked the face of Fatty. It hardly seemed to notice. Then Phobos scored a wicked strike. Then another. Fatty started to bleed. Jan had been manifesting his psychics non-stop during the war against the family. Power after power after power, he threw psychic attacks at his opponents or healed his allies. He augmented his fortune or his defences. He crushed his foes and manifested an overpowered blade that could not be stopped by flesh nor armour. The physical realm rebelled against this flagrant use of power. Charge and potential filled the air. All around, people's hairs stood up on the back of their arms and neck. Winds buffeted the combat, despite the fact that they were below deck on a battleship, completely protected from the elements. Jan rose up into the air, electricity crackling all around him, and brought down the Cyberblade. He had already chopped off layer after layer of ablated blubber. Finally, he was reaching the internal organs. He brought the Cyberblade down and ruptured the heart and lungs of Fatty. Fatty wheezed and held its hand to its side. First it fell to its knees, then face first to the floor. The battleship rang with the impact. Fatty was no more. only one foe remained, a lizardman. It seemed as if this type of mutant was commonplace on Orpheus 4. Its features resembled that of reptile merino. Crude, heavy iron nails had been hammered into his skull. They seemed to cause him no pain. The lizardman seemed broken and shell-shocked. Why had they come, he asked. Why had they killed his father and his brother? Why had they brought so much death and ruination to the bayou? So many dead, women, children, and good men. You folk are monsters, he declared. There was little sympathy from Cell 53. They took the lizardman captive, disarmed him. Alexa prized out the iron nails out of his brain. She could sense a magic item when she saw one. Yarn continued again and again and again to wield his psychic power. The veil was becoming thin. The winds that had buffeted them grew into storms and became more potent. An earthquake rocked the entirety of the Victorious. Again and again the acolytes and stormtroopers and the captive lizardmen were knocked to their knees, to the floor. The air was greasy and charged with force. In the air was the smell of burnt meat. The very ground rebelled against the relentless use of power. The barrier between the physical realm and the Empyrean was becoming thinner and thinner, as thin as parchment. Within the warp, all men's souls are a lantern, a light attractive to the denizens of that place, to the things beyond the veil. But for a psyker, their souls burn bright and irresistible to the demon. That is why psykers must be trained and sanctioned. A weak psyker is a conduit to the demons beyond. They can be used like a portal to the physical realm and their souls consumed. Yarn's soul blazed like a sun within the warp. His mental defences were impenetrable, but thousands upon thousands of demons found themselves attracted to that light, like moths to a flame. Around him, within the sea of souls, creatures gibbered and clawed at his walls. Large beasts like manta rays swarmed around him like a shoal of fish. Deep, deep within the warp, something noticed the soul light of Yarn. Something large and ancient stirred and cast its many eyes towards him. Cell 53 progressed into the next room and found the art collection of Reptile Merino. A fine collection, mostly Xenos. In pride of place was the artifact painting they sought. The Heart, the painting that Lucius had made his life's quest to acquire. The acolytes called it in and were quickly supported by other squads of stormtroopers and the acolytes. The paintings were looted, and the army was evacuated in quick and organised order. Back on board the ship, Lucius awaited his prize eagerly. He announced that further battles were to come, that the butcher awaited them. But with this painting, the miasma could be closed for good. Celebrations were to be had, and all but a skeleton crew would be on reduced duties tomorrow. Tonight they celebrated. Glory to the malevolence. The Cell 53 went to their chambers to feast. Lucius and Jagannatha supped in the briefing room on fine red wine, and spoke of the glories of the orbital assault, and of the next steps of the campaign. Lucius had one more mission of Flight Lieutenant Charles Ash, based on the intelligence that Jagannatha had secured from his time in the honeypot. Ash took his bomber, Lucian, down into the atmosphere of Orpheus 4 for the last time. He bombed the honeypot casino and all its deviant patrons from existence. He used an overwhelming amount of ordnance, as per the Inquisitor's orders. Nothing could survive that conflagration. Lucius and Jagannatha watched on the holocaster, built into the briefing room table. Their campaign now had a real chance of success. And so ended Darkest Heresy, Act 1, victorious, and began Darkest Heresy, Act 2,
Woohoo!
Mutiny.
Mutiny!
Okay, so we're going to start off by we're gonna swap over to Cell 54, see what they've been getting up to. So we're going to start with you, Nixios. Do you want to come into Roll20, Brownie? Join us.
What?
Join us. We have green jelly.
Oh, I've just remembered looking at that servitor. I've got some more tokens for Hayden and Al. 40k
Cool.
thing.
Cool.
I'll send you them tomorrow. I bought a few and I found a few.
Good stuff. Okay, so
I've been anally making all my characters on Halo 5.
Oh,
cool. Obsessively making them.
I've got some generic ones I use now. Well, obsessively made. I just put them in a different pose for another guy. There we go. Different token. It's easy.
Mhm. Cool.
Yeah. See the gangs I've made. Pages of characters.
Okay. So, Nixios. The last few days have passed by in a blur. A wonderful adrenaline-filled blur. You have ran 3 missions down to the surface of Orpheus 4. Your first missions as fully fledged agents of the Inquisition. And they were not simple missions either. 2 were to Lost Hope, and both times you have fully achieved the mission objectives despite the challenges.
What a guy.
What a guy! You take pride in your forged papers that smooth the way through the checkpoints during both missions. And you know that lesser craftsmanship would not have stood up to the scrutiny of the head administrator and his spectrometer. To extract Talos from the cobalt mines was not remotely easy, and it was your advanced Xenos rifle that turned the tide of battle against the aberration in the mine. You held your nerve, whilst a fully fledged Sister of Battle's mind broke under the strain. Rewarded for this success. Sorry, what's that?
So what a fanny.
Well, obviously no sympathy No sympathy for poor Xanthe.
I've got some. I like Xanthe, but in a different character. Dick really wanted to bone her. Shit, Dave played her like an old lady when he did her accent. I just wanted it.
Welcome to the Wayne Rooney of the 41st millennium.
I don't. I'm guessing that's bad.
He's just known for, he's known for liking an older lady.
Oh no! I just thought it'd be quite a good challenge for Dick to try and do a nun as well. You know,
I can't hear Hayden.
Do you not?
can he not?
I can hear him perfectly well, so I don't know. Maybe rejoin or maybe. Okay, so Nixios, rewarded for this success, you were given a ceremonial key to the town of Lost Hope, which gave a significant discount on slave purchases. Leveraging this, achieved your second mission, acquiring the gifted slaves for the Inquisitor. You still have not deduced why the mutants were needed. It seems a bit odd to you.
To cleanse the ship.
But you followed orders, and you succeeded. The only hiccup was the loss of the Sister of Battle, Xanthe. But the more you think on this, the more you realise that there was nothing that you could have done. There was no way that you could have prevented Xanthe from deserting, was there?
Do I look like I give a fuck?
You did make comments. Harsh comments, refusing to let her betrayal in the mine be forgotten. She was brittle. Perhaps if you had forgiven her.
There's no forgiveness on the wall.
She seemed disgusted with the mission, purchasing mutant slaves. She considered it heresy. And maybe she had a point. Not like her fellow sister, Sister Clematis, who seemed to enjoy the role of slave trader, examining and assessing each of the slaves in turn.
No.
Sister Clematis, another
Yes.
lost sister. Following your return to the Malevolence, the mutants remained in the cargo lifter. They were sedated. For the big one, they used some sort of hunting rifle, loaded with a dart designed to bring down a carnosaur. Nixios, you made a quick debrief to Laura Skysinger, assistant to the Master of Coin. It was understood that you would make a full debrief in a few days. Laura was making multiple transits to and from the surface of the planet. She had been overseeing the purchases that Quintius and you had called for. Saltfish, ivory, hides and furs. Laura took the valet, Jeeves, with his dreadful, nervous tick, with her, along with the deeds for his ownership. Kiyoshi returned to his primary duty, bodyguarding the Inquisitor. Sister Clematis went to the shrine, where she spends most of her free time. She had taken on board the duties of sermon. She was quite the orator. But that night, she never returned. You awoke the next day, alone in your chamber. When you were first taken off ice, you shared the chamber with Sister Xanthe, Sister Clematis, and Courtney. For some reason, Courtney has been given her own room, close to the Inquisitor. First, Sister Xanthe, and then Sister Clematis have gone missing. She never returned from the shrine. You reported the disappearance as soon as possible and went to the bridge, turning your skills of deduction onto the task. The servo skulls registered Sister Clematis travelling to the shrine. That was the last time that the servo skulls have a record of seeing her. Interviews with members of the congregation declared that she had run a service for most of the afternoon and evening. She gave sermon after sermon, her unique brand of fire and brimstone. She led the flock in prayer and hymn. The last to see her was an old man, Vincent, who seemed to live in the shrine itself. But he had nothing useful to tell. He had dozed upon a pew and lost sight of her. It was as if she had vanished. The similarities are too great. Two sisters vanishing in as many days, both leaving no trace. Unthinkable that this is a coincidence. And then there was the orbital assault. Cell 53 came good at last. Their mission seemed to take much longer than your two missions combined. They had infiltrated the family and achieved the primary objective of locating the artifact painting. Nixios, you are just an adept, a learned man. You have some skills as a pilot. The Inquisitor seemed keen that all acolytes participate in the attack. Even you, the adept. Even Quintius, who you suspect to be less capable in combat than even yourself, was asked to join in the assault. The Inquisitor offered to let you stand aside, and for his interrogator to take your place. Strange that. It seems bizarre that the Inquisitor gives so much freedom. Surely he should have commanded you, not given you the option. Bizarre. Questionable. But you did not want to shame yourself in front of the other acolytes and ask to stay on board the ship whilst they put their life at risk. You participated in the orbital assault. Nixios, you, Courtney, and Kyoshi, along with a squad of stormtroopers, made landing at the prow of the ship. You remember it clearly. It was glorious, the classical music still ringing in your ears. The family never stood a chance. Between your Xenos rifle, Kyoshi's katana, and the psychics of Courtney, not to mention the disciplined squad of stormtroopers at your back, wave after wave of fanatics were crushed. Courtney seemed more in control of her power. She was a living weapon, a human artillery piece. A blast from Courtney caught a supply depot, fuel and ammunition, carelessly stowed. These rednecks had poor discipline. The explosion rocked the battleship. It rang like a bell. Courtney stretched her hand. She manipulated the flames from the explosion. Using her psychics, she fed the fire. Flush with fuel, the flames ran out of control. The rednecks, the dogs, ablaze, ran in panic. But they just seemed to keep on coming. And then came something huge and fat and gross. It wore a hooded mask of rough sackcloth. It wielded an industrial saw and a crude hook in the offhand. But you've faced more deadly foes. The Mother. You filled the giant fat mutant full of deadly needle rounds. You could hardly miss it. And Courtney lashed at the creature with lightning called down from a cloudless sky. Kyoshi stood, waiting to strike. But the gross mutant never made it to him. You felled it in short order.
The efficient team.
The Alpha Squad.
The Alpha Squad.
Go B team.
And next, there was an earthquake. The Victorious shuddered. An omen.
What am I
That-
doing? Sorry.
What's up, mate? What's up, buddy?
I was just going to say, what am I doing? Figuring myself in the monastery somewhere because I'm missing. Excavatus. Holy.
I'm afraid I
oh,
cannot
thank-
tell you. I cannot tell you that information.
Oh, I know.
Can't tell you that. Where are we? Okay. So then came the Vox. Success. Cell 53 had found the painting. All squads were to rendezvous with them and prepare for evac. Butcher's bill was small for the Inquisitor. And as for the family, their power was broken that day. The Victorious was defeated utterly. Adrenaline still coursing through your veins, you return to the ship, and awaiting in your chamber was roast boar and roasted vegetables basted in the boar fat, hot, fresh, baked bread. Hello. Collie says hi.
Hi, Carl. How you feeling?
James asks how you're feeling. Put the thumbs up. Not too bad. Could be worse. Could be better.
A little lightheaded at times.
Yeah, bit lightheaded. Bit not much coughing today.
No, not cough for a while. But yeah, just a bit lightheaded and
Yeah, just getting tired a bit quicker than normal.
yeah, because I ain't done nothing. Apart from that, I'm alright.
Yeah, cool.
Good.
On the mend.
Good.
And
Good.
touch wood, I've not caught it. Even though, like, I gave her a kiss and a cuddle, like, just before she got a positive test, and I was like, shit.
Alison was
Yes.
late to me for 10 days while I'm on it, and she never caught it. And I've been at work for the last 3 weeks with them, and I've not caught it either.
Cool. Good. Right. Yeah, so you got back to the ship, Nixios. There was a feast awaiting for you. Hot baked bread with salted butter. Recaf and ale and amasec. Green jelly and recream. You and Courtney and Kyoshi feasted and celebrated your victory. The sweet taste of life that can only be felt after it has risked death in battle. Malevolence has left Orpheus 4 behind. The first part of this campaign, a success. Yeah, part of me just thinks I should have just ran a campaign non-stop on this swamp world. it would have been just fine. But never mind. It's done.
Probably
It's
would.
done now. It's done now.
I could have easily occupied myself for another 4 or 5 sessions without any input from you. Just fucking my way across the planet.
Today, Nixios, you awaken alone. Courtney and Kyoshi have returned to their own chambers in the aft of the ship. You are alone, except for a servitor. That hardly counts. Breakfast is leftovers from yesterday's feast. It is just as tasty as it was the day before, and fresh recaf has been provided by a servitor. So today you have one engagement. You have a meeting with Laura Skysinger in the briefing room at 10 a.m. And you haven't been told the purpose of this meeting, but you suspect that you'll be having a more detailed debrief on your mission to purchase the mutant. So you've got maybe an hour or so after you have your breakfast spare before your engagement, Nixios. Is there anything you would like to do with that time and occupy yourself before you move on? I mean, you're not forced to. You can just engage in a bit of leisure time. But if you want to do anything constructive, you've got an hour going.
Yeah, I might go see Lucius.
You want to go and see Lucius?
Yeah.
Okay, so you leave your chamber. You head off down the chamber of the ship. You check where he is to start with, and he's in his personal chambers.
Okay.
So you're heading off to see his personal chambers?
Yeah.
Okay. So you head off. It takes you about 15 minutes to walk down there. And on the door to his personal chambers is a familiar face. You recognise Interrogator Aaron Mattis, the grizzled war veteran who serves as Lucius's right hand. He's bald, face scarred with plasma. He's missing his right ear, and he's dressed in full carapace with skull motifs on the pauldrons. And he's armed with a plasma pistol. He sees you approach, and he nods his head towards you.
Good day, Interrogator. Might I have a word with Lucius?
Aye, laddie. The Inquisitor is what's the word I'm looking for? Indisposed? Indisposed at the moment. He's not taking visitors. Is something I can help you with. What are you after, laddie?
Well, I'm concerned. Concerned about
Aye.
the sister Clematis. Did you know she's disappeared?
Oh yeah. Aye, laddie. So what's happened with Clematis? You've reported this already. So it's not something that you've been sat on. The ship's crew are already aware of this. So he goes, yeah, aye, of course I'm aware of it. And what I want to do, Nixios, is I want to add on a little side quest into the handouts. And I'm going to add you a new side quest, which is to locate the missing sister Clematis, who was last seen at the Imperial Shrine. So I'm adding that in now into the handouts. That's a new side quest for you.
Find me.
He goes, aye, laddie, of course I'm aware of it. Strange news. I wonder, you suppose that she has turned to the enemy, the Spinebreaker?
I think that's the most likely explanation for her just vanishing out of nowhere. I'm
But
concerned.
how do you suppose she got off the ship, mind? I
Well,
read on your reports that a teleporter was used or suspected down on the planet, but that would not work on the ship.
no.
Not with the void shields up.
Even with a teleport Homer?
I know the void shield should prevent teleportation.
Well,
Makes no sense.
doesn't make sense, does it? Perhaps this bears further investigation. Would sensors pick up the use of teleportation?
Aye, well, the teleporters do have a very strong energy requirement. I suspect that sensors would pick up the use of the teleporters. Aye.
Right. In that case, I need some kind of tech expert to assist me. Actually, I'm not bad with tech either.
Aye, well, there's always the technical workshop down there. There's usually is a technomancer. He's probably the most proficient with technology on board the ship. But even when he's not about, or even if he's busy, there's plenty of adepts down there. Mind the technomancer is a difficult man to get along with.
If there was an inside job, Who would be the most likely person to assist in the teleporter coming through the shields? Would that be a Technomancer's help?
Right. The Technomancer, he's been on board this ship for at least 5 campaigns. I'm sure of his loyalty.
Yeah, so
But perhaps some of the lesser adepts, they may be traitors.
okay. Well, thanks, Interrogator. I'll be on my way.
Aye. Well, if I can be of more assistance, let me know. It's these traitors on board. We need to root them out before they cause real damage. It's only a matter of time before they strike again.
Yes, hopefully not on the bridge again this time.
Aye. And he nods, and he lets you depart. So you've maybe got another half hour or so before your engagement. You are due to meet Laura in the briefing room, which isn't far away from where you are now. It's very close. Got about another half hour or so.
Go there and wait then.
Okay. So I'm just going to go for a slash, and I'll be right back. And
I think she's with the other missing priest. There's that father such and such, isn't there, from the temple who we've got a side quest to find. I think she's with him.
Where's the mini? Where's side quests?
Do you think they're still aboard the ship, or do you think they're gone with Spinebreaker?
I don't know, because we know where the priest went missing, so I'm assuming he was a pious man.
Yeah.
Clematis has always come across as quite pious, despite a few bits and pieces, and she's gone missing.
Yeah.
And also Yarn, I mean, it's a bit metagamey, but Yarn detected that presence, didn't he? Somewhere down in the bowels of the ship.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
They're related.
yeah. We've not in. Are they related?
We don't know.
What's that?
We don't know, do we?
What's
Might
that?
be worth a look.
The presence
What's this?
in
She's
between.
saying-
I suspect that she is heretical AI, or rather, like I can't remember. I think there's something like it in the Inquisitor computer game where a chap downloads himself into the machine spirit.
Yeah.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, it's heretical, like the combination of the.
Yeah.
the
That's what we have in Darker as well. Sorry, we have a young
Elizabeth.
girl that's been turned into a machine spirit.
yeah.
Young psychic who was like, her psychic power was the ability to manipulate machines with her mind, and so she's been turned into an AI and installed into a factory. So it might be a similar thing.
That's pretty cool.
But like, I was just saying, Hayden, we know the original, the father from the temple on the ship has gone missing. We had a side quest to find him.
Yeah, that's right.
And then Clematis has gone missing as well, and Xanthe's gone
I know.
missing. So maybe Spinebreaker's like yoinking all the pious people. But we also know that there is this person somewhere in the bowels of the ship that Yarn detected.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whether they're related or not, we don't know. But yeah,
Is there a possibility that that person, like, if it's somebody with technical knowledge, is there a possibility that they're interfering with the ship's machine spirit to lower the shields, or hacking into
maybe
the ship's systems? Yeah, because
we don't know. We must learn more.
We must.
Let's hear it.
okay.
You don't think there's a mutiny brewing, do you?
No,
Nah. All right, cool. That's a
don't be
relief.
fucking stupid, Johnny. Why would you think that?
Okay.
Dave, I don't know. I just have these harebrained ideas. I don't know where they come from.
Okay. So, I've deployed the meta chicken in response to Jonathan Carter. Okay. So,
You deployed it when you changed the name to Mutiny yourself. You deployed it yourself. You just told us what's in store. Anyway, continue. I have to tell you, well, we've got to deploy it for you as well, Al. If you met a chicken your own game,
No. It's one thing for me to give you little teasers and hints as players, but it's another thing, I suppose, for your characters to act on that information. So.
Suppose
Right,
so. You're right. Yeah.
That's where it becomes slightly chickeny. So, but anyway, I don't really care, to be honest. I'm just teasing. So, Nixios, you go to your meeting with Laura. She's already there. She seems a bit surprised to see you so early.
Nixios is going to quickly shove a doodle of a cock in his back pocket.
Very good. And she sees you, and her eyes light up, and she goes, "Nixios, please join me. Will you take a recaf? Ploin juice?"
By all means.
Okay, and so she starts. She's got a recaf herself in front of her, and she starts to pour you one. I'll put you onto the map for the briefing chamber if you'd like to take a seat.
Nope. How do I undo that?
Just shit all over the floor.
Oh, look at that! That brown light stain all over the
Who did that?
briefing room.
Nixios
Dirty,
squatted
dirty.
down
It's
and
just
he did
stood
that
in
dog
something.
thing. Just that he did that dog thing where they dragged their ass along the floor.
Dirty boy.
He drags his ass to the table.
Laura no longer wants to have this meeting.
This reminds me a bit of Hayden's. This reminds me of Hayden's campaign with the piles of piss all over the maps. Okay. So Laura, she pours for you, Nixios, a recaf, and she goes, sucrose, synth milk.
Neither, thank you. I take it black.
Okay, so you take. Okay, very good. So she pours for you a hot black recaf.
I'll be back in a sec.
No worries, guys. And as she pours for you this drink, you're struck by how beautiful she is. She also seems quite young, in her 20s, but you think she may have had rejuve work. She's probably the most beautiful woman that you've ever met on the Malevolence or on the Nebuchadnezzar. She's dressed in a well-fitting naval uniform, specific to the Department of Trade, and behind her hovers a small servo skull.
Who does she
Laura,
work?
who does she work for? She is the personal assistant to the Master of Coin. So the Master of Coin, in theory, is in charge of all matters related to trade, and keeps the ship ticking over as a rogue trader. But previously, Lucius has asked for you and Quintius to take on some of those responsibilities. So you've started getting involved on making the trades down in the planet. So you bought the saltfish, the ivory, the hides, and what have you. So it's Laura, personal assistant to the Master of Coin, who, as far as you've been able to tell, doesn't seem to be quite up to the job. So Laura speaks. She says, Nixios, you've shown a great deal of success, both on your missions to the planet and also during the Orc attack. Were it not for you and Alexa and your skill with the ship, we would have surely been lost with all hands. I owe you my life.
Oh, you're welcome, Laura. We appear blessed with good fortune on this ship.
Indeed.
The run will continue.
And she nods and she smiles. Your first mission to the surface was a resounding success. I understand the recovery of Talos provided valuable intelligence.
Yes, I believe that the other group was successful based on that intelligence.
Mm. And you looted a rare pearl the size of a man's head. Fabulously wealthy item to bring into the bank of the rogue trader.
Yes, a horrific creature that we dispatched in order to acquire it.
She says, tell me more. What creature?
I don't know honestly what I can disclose, Laura, but quite frankly, it would give you nightmares. It gives me nightmares. I suspect it would give anybody nightmares.
She says, intriguing. Funds are at an all-time low, so items like this will surely repair our damaged finances. And then your second mission was a success again, retrieving the mutants to the exact specification required.
Yes, that's a loss of a sister. She wasn't happy and ended up deserting.
Well, the Malevolence is better off without her, as far as I'm concerned.
And what about the malevolence with the acquisition of these mutants? How do you think the ship will fare now?
Well, perhaps I should explain to you the reason why the mutants were called for. I understand that they are for the good doctor, Dr. Bucket, to experiment upon. We believe that through study, an antidote may be possible to find an antidote for the corruption of the miasma.
Intriguing.
Still, you're right. These mutants need to be kept hidden from the other crew, as does Talos. There may well be a mutiny if if mutants are discovered on board, especially if it is learnt that we've purchased slaves. Most right-thinking people abhor slavery. Make a scrutiny roll, or no, make an awareness roll, please. Nixios. As most right-thinking people abhor slavery, she gives you a very peculiar look, and you catch her in a hint of a smile, and you wonder why she said those words exactly, and perhaps she's implying something to you, as you were the one who led the mission and purchased the slaves.
Well, they all have a job to do.
Laura says, your progress, your success, has caught the Inquisitor's eye. I understand that he favours you. Lucius rewards those who serve him well, and he has announced that you are to be promoted to strike leader with immediate effect and all the associated increases in salary and rations. And as a mark of his favour, he has asked me to present you with these rewards. And she hands over a small case. And as you look within, you see an accessory. It is a targeting array.
Ooh.
Laura helps you to attach it. She draws in close as she does so, and it sits over your right ear. When you press the activation key on the side, a green lens flicks out and sits over your right eye. And you have quite a keen eye for these things, given your history as a cold trader. This is Xenos technology, quite possibly Drukhari.
Hmm.
The lens is a heads-up display. It supplements you with data. It displays tracks and targets and other information on range, wind speed, and other useful properties. So whilst you activated the targeting array, you gain +5 ballistic skill and +5 awareness, and it also gives night vision.
Nice.
Ooh.
And she also says, in addition, as a mark of your new rank, you've been awarded your own servo skull. And she hands over a data slate, and the servo skull that is behind her hovers over to you. So I'm just going to change a few settings on the skull. So you should now have control over
Nice one.
said skull. She says to you, you can set the servo skull's commands using the data slate. The Inquisitor has suggested that you be fitted with a neural transmitter to allow more efficient control of the skull, but primarily to allow close communion with the ship, to allow you to pilot her more efficiently. But this sort of bionic upgrade would only be actioned with your consent. It's obviously a serious matter, any sort of surgery, let alone surgery to the brain. And I wouldn't blame you if you didn't want to go under the knife of the good doctor. So what you have is an Auspex skull. So it can be given simple commands or set to automated tasks via the data slate that you have. So I will add in another character sheet to cell 54, which is the server skull. And you should now be able to see that as well, Brownie. Did the server skull in, the stats of it will be on there. So predominantly it's got an Auspex scanner on there. It's got high awareness, so you can send it off to scan things and to look around and what have you.
Super cool.
To track people and such. So it's got skills and talent should be on there. So it's got tracking, it's got awareness, dodge and silent move. Laura speaks again. She says, Nixios, for the time being, the Inquisitor has assigned you to be on a piloting course for the next week. You shall be placed under the tutelage of Flight Lieutenant Ash and Bridge Officer Sharp. Your course will cover piloting of the Malevolence, and it will also involve training on the interceptors, the bombers, the gunships, and the cargo lifters. And for this coming week, you will bed down with the other pilots. Your chamber, Cell 54's chamber, is being rezoned. Understood?
Sorry, say again about rezoned. What was it?
Your chamber is being rezoned. It's obviously there's only one of you in there now, so we'll need to put it to other uses.
Okay.
So if that's everything, pardon?
So if that's being rezoned, where do I go to sleep?
You'll be bedding down with the other pilots. It'll probably do you good to get to know them a bit better and to enjoy the camaraderie with the other pilots. She'll be part of a tight-knit elite. Okay, so report to the bridge, please, if there's nothing else.
Thank you, Laura.
No, thank you. I owe you my life, remember?
It's doing my job.
And she says, as do we all. And she treats you to a smile, and her smile really does light up her already beautiful face. And again, she's definitely the most beautiful woman you've met on either the Malevolence or the Nebuchadnezzar. So,
I'll head off.
what's that? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I say I'll stroll off, and just before I leave, I'll double check my shoe for brown stains.
Can you smell some?
Okay,
Quick question. Nebuchadnezzar, what movie was that off?
That is from The Matrix. Matrix.
Okay, yeah.
It's the shit that they're on in the first place.
I know what you mean now. Cool. Well, I'm shutting up.
It's an old. He's an old king, isn't it, from Babylon?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd forgot. I didn't know. Well, I kind of know now, but I'd forgotten about the Matrix reference. This is the Nebuchadnezzar is where Nixios kind of grew up, and
is that like a biblical king?
I think so.
Yeah, because it's all Zion and stuff, isn't it? Like it's very sort of. It's got a lot of religious references, I suppose, to it.
Okay, so
anyway,
you're going to report to the bridge then, Nixios?
Yeah.
Okay. When you report to the bridge, the ship is in warp. It moves away from Orpheus 4 homeward. Officer Sharp places you at the pilot chair and comes to the navigator to bring the ship out of warp. Hold on a sec.
Where were we heading to?
Are you asking the officer?
Yeah.
Just one moment, please.
What is that?
You know nothing, Jon Snow. Have you not been told? We make headway to Ridge Station, the next port of call for trade. And he comes into the navigator. Ezra, we are ready. Oh no, we're delving into Scottish already. The ship slips smoothly out of warp, and the oculus opens, and you gain a view of an unknown system. Off in the distance, you can see the star that forms the center of this system, a white dwarf. You don't see any life-supporting worlds in this system, nor any sign of colonization. You do see, dominating the oculus, a vast asteroid field. Already, some of the outlying asteroids are bursting upon the void shields. The ship's augers pick up the presence of the miasma, but you notice it is further away than when you were stationed on Orpheus 4. So Commander Sharp has brought the craft out into a meteor storm. He says to you, Nixios, take us on this bearing. 285, Mark 030. And you see that this bearing will bring you at risk of collision with asteroids.
Collateral damage is acceptable.
What are you doing? Hello?
I'll say that heading will bring us into collision with asteroids.
Of course I see the asteroids, Nixios. Your job is to avoid them. The ship can take numerous impacts of the smaller ones, but do try to avoid the larger ones, won't you?
Aye.
I mean, honestly, I don't know why the Inquisitor takes the risk. Seems an odd choice to me. But he seems to think this kind of real-life experience is more useful than the simulations. And who am I to question?
Right.
Okay, are you going to take the ship along the bearing that he asked you to?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to make a series of piloting rolls to see if you can avoid the meteorites. So the whole purpose of this little section, you took a perk that basically makes you a pilot. So this is kind of to explain, this crash course in piloting is to explain what happens to Nixios, okay?
Yeah.
So you'll be testing on your skill before you got that perk. So you'll be testing on half pilot, and it'll be 3 less agility than when you have the perk as well.
Right.
So will you make the first test, please?
What can you remember the bonuses I got to pilot the ship?
Oh, that's a good point.
was-
No, I just have to. So I'm gonna have to check another sheet. That's most disorganized of
Yeah,
me.
that +3 agility, I presume, is added on to.
Okay, you get +12 to maneuvers from the ship itself, and also Sharp is going to make a command roll to see if he can give you a +10, and he succeeds. So you get +22 to the maneuver test.
Great.
And the Master Bridge also gives +5, so that's a total of +27 to navigation. But you don't get the +3 agility from your perk, okay?
So +27
Uh-huh.
-20. So that's just a +7.
Okay.
So yeah, you want me to make a pilot in?
Yeah,
Right.
series of piloting rolls. The first one, so these piloting rolls are to see how well you can avoid and plot a way through the meteorites. So the first roll is a fail,
Me re-roll that.
if you want. Okay, so there's too many meteorites, and you wonder why on earth would the Inquisitor send you into a meteorite storm? What's some kind of test? The meteors are slamming into the void shields, and you see that the outer layer of voids collapses like a burst soap bubble.
Does
An
the
officer-
skull help with this flying in any way?
No, it doesn't help in any way for this. It has its other purposes, but this is not one of them. So I'd like to make a second test. And Officer Sharp says to you, "Steady! Steady she goes!" Oh no.
You re-roll.
Quite. Have you got
Push.
another,
Push.
have you got another fate point, have you? Okay, so that's the second one.
I have only got
Warning. Impact.
Warning. Okay, so the
Oh, sorry, Laura. I saved us all to demonster.
so the void shields. Sorry. Oh no. Perhaps you're not meant to be a pilot after all. So a large meteorite,
Crash course.
heavily, very good, heavily encrusted in ferrous metals, slams into the void shield and detonates. And the second rank of the heavy void shields pops as well. And you realise that now there are no void shields protecting the ship at all. And all of a sudden, sirens start heading off, and red lights start flashing on the bridge.
Good sign. It's the only way to learn, laddie.
End of
Nixios.
campaign.
Nixios, just take it easy, lad. You don't need to force it. Just take it easy. So I'd like you to make a third test, please, Nixios.
Nixios kills us all.
Boom, boom, boom.
Hang on, one sec.
Here you are saying.
It's on the game, baby.
Did she think the nukes were being launched? Putin's launched the nukes. No, not before the end of the campaign, Putin. It's like I said before, I've spent 20 years.
Back in a second.
All right, mate. I've spent 20 years trying to unsuccessfully get an RPG campaign going. Now I've got 5. It'd be typical if Putin nuked us all.
Okay.
Oh no!
Nixios,
Oh no, Brownie!
Perhaps it's the pressure getting to you. You're flush and nervous with anxiety, but you hear these impacts as meteors start to slam into the hull, and there's a terrible shuddering noise and a wrenching of metal that everyone on the ship can hear. And the ship speaks to you. It goes, "Warning, warning, red alert, danger detected, atmospheric damage taken, warning, warning, move away." And Officer Sharp goes, so there's some terrible impacts from the meteor storm. And Sharp goes, "Bastard! Get us out of here, Nixios! Change your bearing to 210 Mark 087. Start!" I'd like you to make another piloting roll. Okay, you turn the ship.
6 in a row.
The ship
To be fair, I'm only on 44.
This is too good. This is great. So the ship moves, the ship turns, and you start to turn it away from the meteor storm. But you can hear impact after impact after impact. And Sharp says, and he says on his breath, and he says, "The Inquisitor is always taking such risky, stupid decisions. Why would he do this? It makes no sense."
I don't know. Open some airlocks to compensate.
The ship takes a further pummeling.
To compensate.
So I'm going
Warning,
to remove
airlock
a.
open.
I'm going to remove a total of 20 hull points from the Malevolence to reflect the damage it has sustained, and this also has an effect on the crew as well. So
Yay!
the ship takes an utter hammering, but you finally get it away from the meteorites. Nixios. And Sharp leans back and he goes, "Fuck. That's quite enough of that for now, Nixios. Thank you very much. I hope this training was useful to you. Rogers, you take over for now." And one of the other bridge officers comes and he has to take your place.
Paraplegic with one eye comes up and takes Nixios' place.
So, Nixios, you feel pretty bad about this, by the way. Nixios, over the next week, you undergo an intensive training course. You pilot the Malevolence in a range of conditions. Luckily, no more asteroid fields, but sometimes close to planets, sometimes through nebula, entering and disembarking from the warp. And you see that the ship is making lots of small jumps. Now, every ship has its own machine spirit, its own personality. And you've piloted. Sorry, go on.
Spend my free time using my tech use skill to assist in repairing her.
Well, we'll come to that. But yes, that's certainly an option when you get free time. And yeah, so the ship's taken a whole load of damage from the Orc attack, and it's now taken a host more from random meteorite strikes. Okay, so Nixios, you've piloted the Nebuchadnezzar before, and it was a stubborn, truculent, unwieldy vessel. And the Malevolence, by comparison, is deft. But for some reason, on that first try, that first jaunt through the asteroid field, you didn't make the connection. But later on, over the course of the week, you do feel that it is an agile ship, and it does seem to be complementing your own abilities. And you do find, eventually, that you do have a real knack for this. But you suspect that you're never going to live this down. So the Malevolence, it makes a series of small warp jumps, partly to evade pursuit, and partly to allow you a range of piloting experience. And you also spend time with Flight Lieutenant Charles Ash, who trains you in the smaller craft on board. There are simulation pods to allow for mission practices. So you get to fly the fighter interceptors. You get to practice bombing runs. And you even get to practice in the humble cargo lifter. And you wonder, is this your calling? Not as an adept, but as a pilot? Maybe.
Maybe not.
At night, you bed down with the other pilots and you enjoy the camaraderie with them. They give you a lot of ribbing, by the way.
Yes.
But some of them are actually quite understanding and quite supportive. And a lot of them are trying to, rather than putting you down, they're trying to make you feel better about what's happened. And a lot of them say that it is stupid of the Inquisitor to put the ship at such risk, just to give you some real life practice. I mean, you already had plenty of real life practice on board with the Orc attack. It just seems a bit needless to take such an act. What's going on here? Oh, bloody hell. Nicole's just started printing, and it just took me by surprise. I'm thinking, what's going on here? There's loads of noises coming from
Haunted
around
Machine Spirit! Al, can I just say I'd like to give you bonus GM points for using the word truculent.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so I'll put them in the bank, Dave.
Slash, I'll be right.
No worries. Well, I'll take Slash as well, and because we're gonna still with you. So
Crazy.
Nearly fucking killed.
Yeah,
By
we were nearly asteroided to death. It was quite fun. I was almost hoping that, like, if it all went wrong, we might blow up because there's a random ending,
Yeah, let's start a new campaign.
And I'm really enjoying this one, but I mean, that's the end of this campaign, lads.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Make it a character. Okay.
I can save this length for the next journey if I need to. You might die on the way there. When you make new characters, you can start this journey I've already planned.
Start a new campaign as Deep Space Salvagers recovering the fucking remains of the Malevolence.
Yeah.
I'll play squats.
Come up on that blooming brain in a jar.
Yeah.
Takes control of us and then starts taking over the galaxy.
okay. So
we've lost Johnny, by the way.
He said he was popping off, wasn't he? So hopefully he'll return before not too long, because I'm going to need him, because he'll be joining the game very soon. So, okay. So are you back with us, Brownie?
Brownie's not.
Okay. So I'll wait for a moment then until we're all back together.
All back together. All back together.
Hey, you gave me you shitted me right up when that printer went off, Coley, by the way.
All back together. Shall we all say it at the same time when it comes up the screen? Let's do it. On my cue when I say it. Just like, all back together.
I wasn't ready.
I can hear.
Well, you missed it because you had to wait for his face. Timing.
It's all about timing.
Hey, Johnny, I can't see you there.
It's
okay.
Back together.
Give it a minute. Can you see me now?
I know. I'm going to rejoin.
I can see him.
God.
I'm back.
Somebody can.
I can hear you, but not see you, Johnny.
Yes.
Oh, no,
sorry
I can see it now.
All
I can see it
together
now.
now.
It's all good.
Together
Yeah.
now.
It's all good. Mate.
All back together.
Together.
Yeah.
Okay, so this week passes so fast, Nixios. Long days all spent at either the helm of the ship or its supplementary craft. You wish that the week would never end, but alas, it does. You report back to Laura Skysinger on the morning of the 8th day, and she's already poured for you a black recaf. And she says, Nixios, well done. Both Ash and Sharp speak well of you.
I'm going to look sheepish and say, sorry if I worried you. Or the rest of the crew.
Yes, there was some significant damage. I would warn you to avoid the Technomancer. Perhaps for some time. He has a lot of work to do to repair the damage. that was caused. He's got his mechadendrites full now, so I would steer clear of him for some time.
I love that. That's cool. He's got his
That was-
mechadendrites full.
Nice touch.
But yes, well, it's perhaps these things are at risk of occurring if you are ordered into an asteroid field with very little training. Perhaps it's to be expected that damage will occur to the ship. Well, anyway, the Inquisitor does have need of skilled pilots in the campaign to come, but for now he has another task to assign to you.
Go on.
We've made some modifications to your old chamber. You'll have some new roommates. Make an awareness test.
7 in a row, James. Ooh.
Okay, so you don't pick up anything as you speak to him. Oh yeah, did you roll to get any of your other ones back?
No, I didn't get either.
You can make those rolls if you want.
No, yeah, I have. I didn't
Okay.
get
You didn't get them. Okay. So, I must stress to you that your upcoming mission is of the highest importance. That is why you have been assigned the task. In short, you must reforge Cell 54. Your mission is twofold. We have converted your chamber into a holding cell for the mutants that you've purchased. They view you as their rightful master, and the Inquisitor judges that you are the best place to handle them. These mutants are dangerous, and no mistake. Perhaps not the builder, but we aren't sure. But certainly the brute and the lizardman. Don't worry about the demonkin. It has been placed into a specialized containment area and kept sedated until we decide what to do with it. So the reason that the mutants were brought on board was for the good doctor to experiment upon. We believe that the study of the mutants may lead to a breakthrough in combating the corrupting influence of the miasma. So we could just keep them sedated and destroy them, but the Inquisitor thinks that they may be put to better use. The combat prowess of the Fat One and the Lizardman could be a real asset to the ship. And we spent a significant portion of our remaining funds on the slaves. It would be best to get full value. She waits for a moment. She looks at you, trying to gauge your response.
So, will the cell still have the use of Kyoshi and what's Johnny's character's name?
Courtney. Kyoshi, his main role has always been bodyguard to the Inquisitor. For important missions, it may be that Kyoshi is assigned to Cell 54 as before, but his main purpose has always been as a bodyguard. He shares the role with Jagannafa, with Aaron Mattis, and also with Hamanatsu. They share the responsibility of protecting the Inquisitor at all times. Remember that there are saboteurs and assassins on board working for Spinebreaker. Protecting the Inquisitor's life is one of the most important tasks we have. Now, as for Courtney, yes, she is still a member of Cell 54. She's certainly still at your disposal, and she has been informed of your promotion to Strike Leader. Now, I'm not quite sure how useful Courtney will be. She seems quite unstable to me. You've done well.
Mildly.
Pardon? Say again? Say that again. Say that again?
That's putting it mildly.
Well, yes, quite. I mean, you've done well to gain success with such a loose cannon in your team. I mean, I've been told on good authority.
I get such a bad rap.
Courtney tried to incinerate the good doctor rather than be subjected into the cryo coffin.
He tried to touch me. Carry on.
Is that true?
Yes, I think so. But the doctor rubs up many people the wrong way.
That's very that is certainly never a true word spoken. The doctor does have a heart of gold if you can see past his hideous visage. Now, let me tell you that Courtney may well be the most dangerous person on this ship, and that is no mean feat. Did you know Courtney is an unsanctioned psyker?
Oh wow, the Inquisitor's really piling up the speciality individual.
Well, that's hardly fair.
You're welcome, by the way.
That's hardly fair on the Inquisitor, Nixios. Now, I understand how this may appear, but rumour has it...
Speciality individual.
Go, Nixios.
Rumour has it that Inquisitor Varak gave her to Lucius as some kind of bad joke. It is Varak who is responsible for Courtney, not Lucius.
Inquisitors.
Inquisitors. Having a jape. Inquisitors will be inquisitors.
Courtney is still a member of Cell 54, so continue to make use of her as best you can, I suppose. Now,
I'll make use of the demon, I'll make use of the mutant, and I'll make use of the unsanctioned psycho, Laura. Don't you worry about that.
It's too good. It's too good. Okay, so coming back to the mutants. Sorry, I just need a moment while I stop.
The least of my worries now.
The mutants are the least of your worries. So, right, yeah. So coming back to the mutants, there's also this free-armed builder. I'm not quite certain why you bought him. You must have had a plan.
3 for 2.
You buy one, you get one free.
3 for 2 offer on arms. That day.
Literally basic math.
Yes, I mean you already had the four-armed lizardman. I don't know quite sure why you bought the free-armed dwarf builder. Why did you buy both?
I
Well, he had a vibe.
expect he will prove his worth.
Good. Well, put your plan into action then. Make it happen. There is. I'm sorry to put so much on you, but I believe you can take it. There's a further mutant to consider. Another lizardman. It seems a common Orphean mutation. A stable subset. This one was captured by Cell 53 at the pinnacle of the orbital assault. I'm not quite sure what to make of this mutant. It seems a broken thing. It stares at the walls. It barely talks or interacts at all. I don't really...
That one.
Sorry, say again, please.
So just experiment on that one.
Well...
Figure out how to stop the mutants.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what Cell 53 had planned for this captive. I'm not convinced that they knew what they were doing.
That's defamation of character and also not entirely accurate. I had a very good plan when
I didn't want to take his head. He was too wimpy at the time.
We've decided to throw him in with the other mutants. We need to keep them all out of sight of the crew. They won't take kindly to twists on board. Yeah,
Twits?
especially twists.
Oh,
Twits, not
other words.
twits. Or they may be twits as well, but twists is what she said. Nixios, this last lizardman was a lieutenant of the family. I seriously doubt that he can be made use of. I'm not sure what we want to do with him. So, let me summarize your objectives. Evaluate the mutants. See if they can be used. See if they can be recruited. And if you judge not, then put them down. How you achieve this objective, through leverage, bribery, threats or friendship, or any tools at your disposal, is up to you. We've installed insurance in the holding cell. There is a keypad on the wall by your bed. The code is 3306, and this will flood the cells with toxic gas and end the mutants. Use the toxic gas only as a last resort. The command cannot be retracted. You will also have control over the explosive collars. I'm linking access to your data slate now. Beep, boop, 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 beep. If needs be, you can set off the explosive collars individually or simultaneously.
Can I just backtrack it a little bit there?
Of course.
I'm not living in the cells with these mutants, right? I'm not living in the gas chamber with the mutants.
No, of course not. That would be ridiculous.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
I just can imagine he's cellkeeper. It's all these freaks and weirdos.
It's like a bizarre 40k themed sitcom.
Well, continue bedroom. Let's put you in the house horrors.
Nixios
The
and the
one
Freak.
where he gets new roommates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nixios,
The latest rom-com from Paramount.
It's not called Friends, it's just called Acolytes.
Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell is an adept. Will Ferrell is an adept named Nixios. He's just got new roommates this summer from Paramount Pictures. Nixios and the Freaks.
5 freaks,
Accurate.
1 man, and they get it all.
if needs be, you can set off the explosive collars individually or simultaneously. There is a short delay before detonation in which you can cancel the command. Now, these are not Zion class explosive collars. You cannot use them to shock and incapacitate them. They only have one option: explode. Turning on the explosion and preventing the explosion. You can turn them on and off, but they cannot be used to electrocute and stun the slaves. Okay.
They can't be used for fun, basically.
So, when you judge it safe, the doctor will come along and take his samples and run his tests and do his experiments. And if it's unsafe, we'll have to sedate them first. But I think it's best to avoid sedating them if we want to recruit them. But you use your own judgment.
Thanks for the heads up on the Zion class collars.
You like that one? Very good.
Yeah, I like that one.
So, are there any questions before I continue?
Not yet.
Ah, good. Because there is another matter. Another recruit. Jagannatha has recruited a large number of the swamp folk. But one of them is special. Jagannatha had a vision on the planet, a true telling. On the planet, in one of the heretical settlements, was a demonologist. He goes by the name of Mad Old Tommy Lee. It's a perfectly good name. He knows much and more about the miasma. Jagannatha foresaw that if we recruited this demonologist, then our campaign could succeed. He seems to know things that it isn't possible for him to know. And if we allowed the demonologist to fall into the hands of our enemies, then our campaign would be doomed to failure. Cell 53 were just where they needed to be. Coincidence or fate? They recruited him. This Tommy Lee is to be kept on a short leash, but not imprisoned like the mutants. You are to take him under your wing. Befriend him if you can. Make use of him if you can. But most importantly, observe him. Observe him for signs of treachery. The peasants of the bayou are mostly given over to worship of this so-called laughing monk. In truth, this is an aspect of the great corrupter, one of the 4 pillars of the archenemy. We must be careful. We know that the world of Orpheus 4 paid tribute to the Butcher, this so-called king of the miasma. The Butcher and his plague fleet are our enemy. If this demonologist, if he's proven to be a traitor, we will space him and damn Jagannatha's vision. So, any questions?
Nope.
So to summarise your objectives, recruit the mutants if possible, get them to agree to the giving of medical samples, and kill them if they are too dangerous. Befriend this swamp dweller, and observe him for signs of betrayal, and make what use of him you can, I suppose. Very well. Let's just go and get Courtney, shall we?
Lead the way.
Okay. So she leads you towards Courtney's room. Courtney, you find yourself in a tremendous mood. You have experienced the glorious rush of the assault on the victorious. And under the tutelage of Jagannatha, your powers grow stronger and stronger. And more importantly than that, more under your control.
Barely contain myself.
You have your own room, one of the best on the ship, and your rations match the quality of your station. You are not assigned work other than your training with the pyromancer, and you spend your days mostly in leisure.
Oh well.
Sometimes you wander or skip the corridors of ship, talking and discovering. Some days you go down to the hidden drinking hole, the Crow, and enjoy the riotous company of the stormtroopers. Other days you head to the orrery, use the map of the star systems, now changing daily as the ship plots a new course this way and that.
Very pretty.
You use the holoprojecting map to look around the celestial objects, the planets and nebula.
Very round.
And sometimes you use the orrery to look at the miasma, like you did the first time you happened upon it.
It's so pretty.
And for some reason, you're not quite sure, you are saddened as the malevolence plots a course away from the miasma. Sometimes you head to the automated incinerators. It's fun to throw things in there and know that they burn.
It is.
Other times you head to the librarium. There's so much knowledge there, so many books and topics to explore. Today, though, you simply lay in bed, taking a long lie in. You have a book somewhere to read, but you can't settle on it. You lie and you doze in and out of sweet dreams. Contentment.
This is a life.
You are rudely interrupted by your door chime. Doo-doo.
Shit.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
1 minute. and then she's gonna get up and pull my dressing gown together. And like, 1 minute, get my slippers on, and then come
Okay.
over, shuffle over the door, shuffle open the door, and then open it.
Okay, so outside are Nixios and Laura Skysinger. So you know Nixios obviously from your missions. You also know Laura. She lives in this area of the ship as well, and she's helped you settle in.
Oh, hello. You've caught me. Well, I wasn't prepared for you. Do forgive me.
Oh, hello, Courtney. Are you well?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. And she comes over to you and she gives you 3 kisses alternating on your cheeks. She's given you this greeting before.
Oh, I'm just gonna mirror it back.
Okay.
There we go.
So you reciprocate.
Come in. Just bear with me a moment. I'll go and get into something more suitable.
Okay. So you have like an ensuite bathroom. It's inset with marble, and you can get dressed in there out of the way. So I'm going to put Nixios and Laura onto the map.
Take a seat if there's any.
Yeah. There's a couple of seats to choose from. Laura moves over and she sits on this chaise longue.
Make yourselves at home. I've got a recaf anywhere, sort of thing.
You do. You have a thermos flask of recaf that you brought with you all the way from the Calexis sector.
Oh, fantastic!
And for some reason, it's still piping hot.
Could I interest? I'm just going to duck out the bathroom door. Can I interest you in some recaf just while I get ready?
No, thanks, Courtney. I've had my fill of recap for the day.
No problem.
And Laura says, yes, we've just had one, thank you. I'm fully caffeinated.
Oh, excellent. That's good to know. You don't mind if I do you? I'm just going to run over to it, grab some quickly, and then grab an outfit out of the thing. Like, that one. Like that.
Okay, so you pick a nice outfit. You've got a selection of clothes, by the way, that were here in this room as well. So you've got a good choice.
What are my companions wearing, so I can sort of mirror the style?
Okay, so first of all, Nixios, do you want to place yourself in the room to sit while you wait for Courtney? I think Courtney's gone off; she's having a shower. Do you want? At the minute I've placed you at the doorway. Laura's gone and sat down on the chaise longue. Do you want to place Nixios somewhere in the room? So Laura's wearing a close-fitted naval uniform. And Nixios, what are you wearing?
Some kind of classic adept.
You've got administratum robes, if you want. Okay. So you've got that's the grey robes of an adept. Is that what you're wearing?
Yeah, I suspect so.
Okay.
Okay, I'll pick out something that's somewhere in between the two of them.
Okay, so you try and pick something that's not going to clash with either of them, and you have a good eye for clothes. Nixios, you think that Courtney's perhaps put on a little bit of weight?
Whoa! Steady on. I heard that. And then he goes to the bathroom.
You heard what the GM says. No, Nick, I don't think he said that out loud. That's obviously what I'm telling Nixios as a GM.
Yeah.
That's not what Courtney doesn't hear anything.
She senses the voices. They come and go. Bear with.
I say Courtney's been eating incredibly well since she's had her new chambers. As in, the quality of the food is much better than she ever had before when she was on this kind of primitive agri world.
Yes, Nixios has no time to comprehend what clothes anyone's wearing or what weight she is. He's got mutants on the fucking way.
Nixios, as you enter this room, you're struck by the sheer opulence of the chamber. It's the first time you've been in Courtney's room. This room is at odds with the rest of the ship, which is pretty typical for a starship. Especially a warship. It's functional and utilitarian for the most part, but this room is opulent. The furnishings, the carpets and the rug, the carved furniture inset with metal scrollwork. You imagine this to be how nobles must live.
So I'm just gonna have a shower and stuff quickly, and then sort of use the whatever thing to dry my hair and whatever. So I'm sure there was something like that in there. I'm like, don't mind me. Yeah, what can I help you with today? That, and then I'll send the thing.
Calculate the probability that this is also a gas chamber now that he knows that she is an unsanctioned psyker.
Make an intelligence test. Make an intelligence test, please. Okay, so Nixios, you think it likely that the Inquisitor, knowing what he knows, must have some precautions in place, but you don't see any evidence of this being a gas chamber in any way. You don't see any evidence of any precautions at all in this room. So you think he must have something in hand, but you can't tell what it is from looking around the room and observing.
So got too much mutant on the mind to accurately.
I got muted on my mind.
So Laura speaks to you, Courtney. She says, "Are you coming through now? Are you dressed and what have you? Are you?"
Yeah, I'm just gonna come out of the bathroom, sort of buttoning up a sort of like a tunic thing and some tight leggings with some boots.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm just gonna adjust as well. Just the everything, adjusting. Like, right, I'm ready for you. What can I do for you today?
Laura says to you, she says, "We have a mission for you, Courtney, of the utmost importance."
Oh, excellent! I've been wondering when I'd be called upon.
Yeah, it's a continuation of your prior mission to Lost Hope.
Oh, fantastic!
Nixios will fill you in on the details. And I must remind you, of course, that Nixios has had a promotion. He's now been promoted to strike leader. So please do treat him accordingly.
I'm just going to turn to him, nod, and then like awkwardly sort of salute, and then bow again, and then stand up straight my tunic.
Okay. So
Can I just stop you a sec?
I'm just going to say, I am at your disposal, sir.
Can I just stop you a sec to show you something? I was trying to cook some fish cakes, and I've cooked a fish cake, and it's now here.
Floor cake. Floor cake.
Reef. It's now reefish.
Is that a cat related incident?
It will be soon, I think.
Yeah.
No, it was literally just me dropping the fish cake. Okay. Sorry.
That's got to be some sort of phrase or quote that's used at some point. Always drop the fish cake.
Oh, not again! Not another fish cake on the floor.
That could be the code word for when it's all going wrong. Somebody's dropped the fish cake.
So if you're ready to begin, Courtney.
Yes. I'll take a seat if there's one nearby.
Well, we need to be heading off to Nixios' chambers next.
All right.
Just nipping off for a second.
No worries, mate.
Just gonna finish my recap and then get ready, and then stand to attention and go right. Ready when you are.
She goes, and we really must do lunch sometime, Courtney.
We must. That would be lovely.
So, you head off next back to Nixios' chamber. Nixios, you have the opportunity now to kind of fill in Courtney on your mission, if you want to do so.
Well now, Courtney, you may recall that we fought some mutants last time we were down on the planet, and the Inquisitor wants us to rebuild Cell 54 with these mutants. So we are going to try and turn them into the word
fully functioning members of the Inquisition.
assets.
Assets. Oh, right. Yes, of course, sir. Yes, very good. A great plan. And what role can I play in this? I'm all ears.
Just keep doing what you're doing, Courtney. Offering us psychic support.
Of course, sir. I would. I am honoured to serve the Inquisition and yourself. Congratulations on your promotion, by the way. Very well deserved, from what I hear.
Debatable.
Oh dear. Okay, so back at your chamber, Nixios, there are 2 stormtroopers stood at the door. As they see you,
This is fancy, isn't it?
They salute, fist to chest.
She's just gonna look at him and go, "All right, boys," like that, even though they won't probably move, but
They nod the head at you. They don't move for you, but they do see Nixios, and they seem to be giving him their attention. And they go, "Sir."
Like, open the door. Let's see what we're dealing with.
Okay. So they open the door, and you and Courtney go in. And inside, you see that your room has been heavily, seriously modified. The modifications are striking. A cell now dominates most of your chamber, made of bulky reinforced plasteel. And where there were 4 beds before, now there are 2. And you see your new roommate, a swamp dweller, an Orphean. He puts you in the mind of the swamp folk that you slaughtered on the assault on the Victorious. He looks primitive, dressed in bayou attire. The most striking feature about him is his large, unkept, walrus mustache.
Which
and the
one's
room?
Nick?
This is Tommy Lee.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The room, you've met this guy before. You actually recruited him, if you recall.
Yeah, we had a mission to get to the.
we do.
north,
Yeah,
You recruited him at
point
Grimsport.
of the town went to start. We had to get there.
Either recruited him.
It was you who recruited him. You tracked him down using a natural 1 on a soothsaying. You recruited him. Then you sent him off, and then you tried to get him back, and you tried to track him, and you lost his trail, and you ended up going off to the docks, and then you got a bad smell that you later decided was down to a fatty. So you have come across this guy before as Cell 53, and you talked to him for some time. And just before I continue, I just want to tell you that the room smells faintly of cheese.
not re-cheese, just cheese. That's the real deal.
Okay, so this swamp dweller, he turns around, he sees you both. Sorry, what are you saying?
I'm going to say hello, Tommy. Been at the cheese?
Tommy Lee speaks.
Well, hello, boys and girls. It's sure nice to finally get to meet y'all. I believe I'm going to be your new companion.
Yes.
Okay. You're not going to be able to keep a straight face when you say top words with him, which is great.
I say these are the fellas I see back here in the room. I've been sniffing around some time, and I gotta say, I think it's either mighty ballsy or stupid as fuck for you to keep these freaks back here, if you don't mind me saying so.
I don't mind you saying so, Tommy. And how about just a nice combination of both of those things?
Yeah, well, I've seen a lot of things. I've seen a lot of strange things in my time down in the bayou, and some of these folks, they sure strike me as the kind of people that rip off your arm sockets and gouge out your eyes and then piss in the holes.
Well, if you get caught short, I think that'd be a bit, waiting for them to do that would be a bit inconvenient. Just saying. And then I'm just gonna look around.
Well, hello, young lady. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Tommy Lee Dangerfield. Most folks call me Mad Old Tommy Lee.
I'm just going to extend my hand and say, that's a perfectly good name.
It is a perfectly good name. My mommy gave me it.
Well, good for her. She had breasts. She did. She had breasts, bless her.
You don't know that.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't. You weren't there. You never see my mommy.
Touch me one time, and I'll see. I'll be there with you. Touch me one time.
Oh, you got the gift.
Well, it could be considered a gift. Sometimes it's a bit of a curse, but yeah, we should get our brains together, see what we can figure out.
Acres of almond trees line the highway, complemented the driving crazy nuts.
Yeah, what you just said, yeah, but like maybe a bit more, structured.
I'm sorry, I went away for a moment there. What you saying? Something about my mama's breasts?
Yeah, very. They were firm before she had you, and then it all went downhill after that.
You don't know that.
Yeah, I do.
My mama had breasts that were like bunches of grapes.
What? Loads of really small ones.
Oh, they were hanging free. Why are we talking about my mama's breasts? So, what's the crack here? We're here now in this place, and I can't help feeling like I've been a little hard done to. I've been locked up in here with all the strange gifted, and I ain't one of them. I got my arms and legs like anybody. I don't belong here.
Well, I've been doing a little bit of reading on the ship's procedures, and I just I think it's standard quarantine procedures. Just when you sort of first come aboard, I wouldn't take it personally. They did the same to me. Only my chambers were infinitely better than these.
Standard warranty procedure. Yeah, I understand.
It's when they put people in a box because they don't consider them safe until they've made them safe, and then they can be out of the box. Like you are.
Why would I not be safe? I'm a perfectly safe person.
That's right, you are, and that's why you're out of the box. Yeah. See? You're in a whole new world.
It is a new world.
Area of expertise makes you a specialist, which is why you're where you are in order to through from finding out what you know.
I mean, I know things. Yeah, sure, I know things. What is it you want to know? You want to know things from old Tommy Lee? Old Tommy Lee knows all sorts of things.
Well, perhaps not me. Perhaps you'd like to discuss them with Jan. That's his area of expertise. He has some occult and demonological knowledge.
You mean the shepherd?
Sorry.
The large
the shepherd.
You must know who I'm talking about.
Good incept there, Hayden. I like it.
You mean the Yarn? He's the shepherd. Yeah, the shepherd is the souls. He's the one that I seen. He's the one that I seen. I would meet and I would come here to be with.
Sounds like you've got an idea of what's going to happen.
No, not a fucking clue. But I do know that I was supposed to be here, and I was shown the way, and I was shown the shepherd, and the shepherd came to me, and now I'm here. And I'll be honest with y'all, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here.
Well, you and me both. No, I'm just kidding. I know exactly what I'm doing here, sort of. But you could be very useful to us in our quest for galactic purification.
Sure. I can be useful. I can be real useful. Everyone finds old Tommy Lee useful. I mean, your Reptile found me useful. Old Ma Hubbard found me useful. Everybody finds Tommy Lee useful.
According to report, they're dead now, so don't worry about them finding you useful anymore.
Oh, shit, my Hubbard was dead decades ago, and Reptile, I ain't surprised. He is some bitch, and he needs to be put down. I'm saying, I'm going down with the gun to the head, and when he started shaking his fiber, I don't know.
Do you recognise any of these mutants? Did they used to work for Reptile?
Do I recognise any of the mutants?
Okay. I will. First of all, I'm going to have to go for a slash, even though I've been holding this off for ages, but I didn't want to leave. So just to pause that for, I'm going to go for a quick slash, and then I'm going to come back and send you some information.
That old Tommy Lee is going to get himself another beer, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to get on down here in the fridge and just help myself to another beer, and then I'm going to drink it.
It's re-beer, yeah.
It's free beer. Generally speaking, I don't do the real stuff. I do the real deal. Down in the bayou, we got the moonshine, we got the real cheese.
Well, you're in deep. Well, I think you're in deep space now, sir. Mate. So, yeah, it's going to be re-beer all the way from now on.
You're not making cheese in this cellarite.
Cheese?
With
You want
cheese
some
on the
cheese? I got some cheese. You want some cheese?
What kind of cheese is it?
Bayou cheese, the best kind of cheese.
And how does that get made? If you don't mind me asking, I just.
You don't want to be asking too many questions about the bayou cheese. It's all good. It's just perfectly natural cheese. I keep it in a bag, and I'm gonna get my little bag out and open it, and just take a little piece out and have a piece and offer it to Courtney.
Is it low in fat? And just going to adjust the tunic again.
It's just cheese.
No, I think I'll pass this time, but next time, maybe. I just need to. I'll take a small sample. Have you got? Is there any, sir? Is there any sample bags around here that I could put a little sample in before come back and properly try this? I know it's it's a small thing, but.
I think you're overthinking it, young lady. I mean, it's just cheese. You just put it in your mouth and you eat it, and then later it comes out the other end.
I don't think I dare. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I don't.
You daren't eat the cheese.
I understand.
No.
Wild cheese is an acquired taste, and if it ain't for you, it ain't for you. No judgment.
I will scrutinise this cheese.
It's very polite of you.
I'm going to offer you the bag of cheese.
Turn away and just kind of wrinkle up my nose a bit and be like, bayou cheese. Never heard of that before.
I cannot comprehend this cheese. Keep your cheese, Tommy. We will investigate that at a later date.
All the more for me. If you ain't wanting about cheese, then old Tommy Lee gonna eat all about cheese. Well, not all the ones sitting though, because
I'm having a very strange day, Tommy, and that cheese is threatening to push me over the edge. So,
holy shit!
I understand. You off-worlders, you got weak stomachs. You can't handle the cheese.
Yeah, perhaps you're right. The long-term effects of deep space.
I'm not sure servitors should be handling that cheese, Tommy.
Just gonna eat some more cheese and just awkwardly make eye contact with Courtney the whole time I'm eating it.
She's going to smile politely and sort of like look away and tap her feet a bit.
I've got bits in my walrus moustache, a little bit smeared at the side of my mouth, and I just keep eating it. And then I give you a toothy grin, and you can see my teeth are all rotten and shitty.
Covered in cheese.
And covered in cheese as well.
Covered in bayou cheese, which...
Cheesy, rotten teeth.
Yeah.
I can't begin to comprehend where that cheese came from, and I don't really want to.
It's just from the bayou.
So, to answer your question, Dave,
you should get new cheese.
Is it got... what's the nutritional value on that bayou cheese? I'm trying to...
high in polyunsaturates, low in saturates, high in flavour.
Oh, right, that sounds great. Let's have a bit.
Okay, to answer your question, Dave,
Yeah.
you asked previously, you do recognise two of the mutants. I'm sending you, or I've sent you, a text on Messenger for you to read. So you recognise the lizardman. One of them better than the other one.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to. I can't remember what Nixios asked me. Something about did I know any of them?
Yeah. Do you recognise any of them from working with Reptile?
All right. I'm going to head over to this one and point at this one.
Okay. You point at. There's a 4-armed lizardman mutant here. Are you coming across as well, Nixios?
Yes.
Okay, so, and the server still follows you as well as you go. So in this chamber, in this lock cell, and you're glad that it's locked, you see this is the mutant, the 4-armed lizardman mutant with combat prowess that you purchased from Lost Hope. And again, just as like when you were down on the planet, you are struck by how deadly it looks. It looks like it's very, very still, but there's something of the predator about it. And you are sure that the advertisement of combat prowess was not a lie. You see it's muscular, looks physically fit, got 4 arms and a prehensile tail, and it looks up at you with its yellow slitted eyes. And Lizardman Cletus speaks.
Hey, that mad old Tommy. Yeah, I see that.
Well, hey, if it ain't Cletus, I mean, yeah, I know you. You one of old Reptile's bastard sons, ain't you?
That is yet to be confirmed. He's never had anything to do with me, and I've nothing to do with him.
I see. He ain't too keen on admitting the bloodline of his progeny. I understand.
But don't call me a motherfucking bastard, you know?
Oh, hey, I didn't mean it in the,
If we
expletive
share
kind of
drink,
way.
it doesn't matter. It's just my old Bayou folk need to stick together. What the hell are you doing here on this metal ship?
Well,
Here,
I
those two.
had a...
Whoa. I'm all bewildered myself, I tell you. All bewildered now. Why are you the other side of those bars?
I was going to ask you the same question. I don't know what you done. You must have upset these folks somehow. But don't you worry. Don't you worry, Cletus.
What have I done?
Maybe about 11 o'clock.
Just look at me.
I'd rather you were asleep.
The plenty gave me plenty. I'm
please
people
don't keep
don't like the fact
no,
that I got plenty.
Alright, love you.
How you go, Johnny?
Alright, close the door gently.
Oh.
I don't know why I'm on one side of these cell bars and you're on the other, but I see you got this thing around your neck. You upset these folks or something, Cletus?
I did no dang no nothing to these folks. That's just it's just the consequences of life is value. I got wrangled for moonshine peddling again. Remember you met me in my stall at the Harvest Festival and I gave you a couple free drinks?
Yeah,
2 years back. 2 years back. It's it. We didn't talk much, but it was enough.
I remember you and your moonshine. Yeah, it was real good stuff. That it's how close is
Nixios? He stood right beside. He stood right beside.
I'm,
He's come with you. So
I'm talking right next to the bars, but
okay. Yeah. Well, you've got you've got control over your characters. So
yeah, I'm gonna have 2 arms on top of the bars, and the other one sort of like scratch my chin as I talk, and the other one like playing around with expressions with his hand. So,
So all 4 arms seem to be working perfectly, he seems to have full control over each arm, perfect control.
Yeah.
And he's kind of articulating with one while he's holding onto the bars with the other, and he scratches his chin with the other. I mean, they're all working in perfect unison.
That's awesome. That'd be amazing.
I'm going to lean in real close to Cletus. I'm going to say, Cletus, I seen a vision. I seen that I would come here to this fancy place in the sky. And I don't think that there are no coincidences. You know what I'm saying? And you're here too. So I think me and you, we're here for a reason.
We're going to look after each other. I want to say my brother. We will.
I think what you need to do, Cletus, is you need to behave. Yeah, I seen it in my mind that these folks here, they're going to take us a place, and we're going to do great things, Cletus. But you need to be a good boy, because I know kind of what you is and what you can do, and I'm just saying, don't get no crazy ideas back there behind them bars. You understand what I'm saying, boy?
Yeah, I've been saying I've been sad working mines. 1 year now. As a slave, I had a lot of things to think about. Places I didn't think I'd go escape from. But now, I'm on a ship and what are you asking me for? I'll do whatever you want at the moment. Don't see me going back to my planet anytime soon. Might make the best of this situation, and if you feel canny enough, maybe set me on Moonstar and start. Oh yeah.
That's
People go mad for moonshine if they don't know what it's like. Go mad for it.
What would you need to be able to create moonshine?
I need to be close to some boil parts, pressurized chamber, couple of bottles, stove. I need a stove to heat the boiler up, so I can filtrate the fumes. Sorry, my accent's going dodgy. So
don't sweat the accent. Just do what you can, man. Don't sweat it.
So I can filtrate the fumes of the alcohol.
Courtney's going to move down just into this door. Can I go through this door? Is that all right?
Yeah. You can go through the door.
I just want to go and have a look at what we've got here. I'll go.
Were you down as a brewer, Cletus?
I'm going to go over.
I have been peddling moonshine all around the bayou. River folk love my recipes.
You may recall that me and my companions purchased you from the administrator down on the planet. How did you come to be caught by him in the first place?
Well, I was peddling out in our groom spot, I think it was. And after my store closed, I thought I hit the moonshine too, and got pretty drunk. I could have took them all, to be honest. But before I knew it, I woke up on my back, chained up. Slave time for me. Protested, told me how to collar would go boom on my neck, but so that put me off. I still got one on now, and God does it itch. So I'll tell you, I'll be most grateful if you could turn it off, because I know I got no chance to escape from this metal box. And many metal boxes in front of this.
Well, just imagine being on the biggest metal box you've ever seen, and on the outside of it is certain death. We're in a spaceship at the moment. Do you know what that is?
No, I beg you not, sir. I can just imagine that. I remember. Have partial memory of the scene through the viewports, that planet. That's the weirdest feeling I ever seen.
You've seen the planet, do you say?
Have I caught a glimpse of
Yeah, so when you were taken on board the shuttle, so you were contained. I don't think there was any way of seeing outside of the cargo lifter as cargo lifter goes up. But when you're taken off the cargo lifter into the shuttle bay, then you would see there's like a force field sort of thing where the ship comes through, and then you can see the stars. So you have seen space outside. So you have got
so
I
know
a
what
glimpse
I'm
of it.
going to.
You do, you do have an idea. I mean, this is all. You're obviously a primitive
Yeah, this
person,
is all
so
a bit mind-boggling to me.
yeah, it's mind-boggling. Exactly right. But
I'm there.
Cool.
This is all
So,
mind-boggling to me. So it's
some
it's
sci-fi
all
shit.
new. I don't think I could get on a boat and try peddling my moonshine anywhere else. But it's all I know. I tell you, seems you got me captive. One thing I am good at, stealing death. These forearms, I got no.
To be honest with you, Cletus, you look like you can kick some ass with all 4 of those arms, and that's why I acquired you. I think you could
climb, jump, and crawl.
I think you could be an asset to this crew and to yourself as well. If you do well, you will lose the collar and earn yourself some freedom.
Okay,
Well,
so guys, while you're talking, Courtney has the chance to act and to do some things. So you're having a conversation, you're discussing this. So just pause where you are now. I just want to give Courtney the chance to take some actions while you're all doing this. Okay. So Courtney, you said you were coming in here and you're having a look around. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go over to these guys and have a look through the window and see what I can see.
Okay, so you were on the planet at the time when these mutants were purchased. So you did get a sight of them when they were first purchased. So this one here, who's been talking, seems to know Tommy Lee. Is a powerful, muscular lizardman with yellow slitted eyes, a prehensile tail, and there's something of a predator about him. Sorry, 2 meters tall. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just going to look in and go, oh, well, there, I remember you. I think you were probably our best purchase that day.
Well, thank you kindly, pretty lady, and I'm sure I've always enjoyed being purchased by such a fine specimen as yourself.
Well, why, thank you. Why, thank you.
He's going to chuckle to himself and go, thank you.
Why, thank
And then he's going to look at Courtney and go,
you've got 4 arms.
Can I notice this disappointment and wink at you anyway, Brownie? My salesman charm.
Well, you also see, by the way, Lizardman Cletus, you also see a hovering skull behind your master, which is quite off-putting.
What be that contraption over your head there, floating with a natural holy vigor?
This is how do I possibly explain this? This is a floating skull, half mechanical and partly someone's skull.
People call me an abomination.
Wait until you see the rest of the ship.
Yeah, it's quite a small server skull, by the way.
Yeah, he said it was puny, but it says puny.
Yeah.
Baby head server skull.
Why not say?
I'm just going to approach Cletus. I'm going to reach into my cheese bag, break a lump of cheese off, and just tentatively hold it out to him through the bars. You want a little bit of cheese there, Cletus?
And I'll hold my hand out ready for you to drop it in it.
Drop.
Grab it. And
catch the cheese.
I'll sniff in.
Mm.
Just take a moment to absorb the cheese smell in my lizardman-like nostrils.
That's
and then
good stuff.
Dip it on my tongue and be like, cheese!
Very sharp. Very sharp.
My tail start wagging and everything. And I'll knock it down, and that is the best. Really exciting.
As this happens, Courtney's going to shrink back behind Nixios and be like, Oh, that tail looks very lively. And giggle slightly and blush a little bit.
Very, very weird day.
Oh, sorry, sir. I didn't mean to lay my hands upon you.
Oh,
It's very exciting down
it.
here, isn't it? I've not really dealt with the acquisitions before. The acquisitions department. This is all new to me. It's exciting.
New to me as well, Courtney.
Ah.
Oh, that be the best down cheese for well, right?
I thought, a little taste of home make you feel like you fit right in. I mean, I'm okay. I know I'm supposed to be it, but you behind bars got that collar going on and all that, and I just want you to feel like, you're gonna be okay, Cletus. You're gonna be okay.
It's going to be okay,
How about
Cletus.
you
Don't
all?
worry about it. You're a welcome addition to the team.
Oh,
We're happy to have you.
I'm a welcome addition, yeah? No?
With that many arms, I'm sure you could do many wonderful things to help
Well, you'll
with our efforts.
let me out and give me a better bed then.
Oh, I've heard that
I
one.
will behave myself. I know I'll be.
I've heard that one before. Go. You wait your turn. And then
Sign, Cletus.
Yeah. All right.
I'm gonna move on and check out.
I guess.
Okay, so where are you moving to next, Nixios? You've got you can see the various options you have on the map.
I'll step aside for Nixios to move.
Move to next.
Okay.
And then I'll just flank him.
Just 1 sec. Sorry, what's that? Of course you can. They're just down there.
It's 3 arm. The Dick Dark.
Okay. So where? Right. So just 1 moment, please. Right. So this mutant Nixios, unlike the others, seems almost human. It's quite short, with a black hair speckled with white. But there's no ignoring the 3rd arm that grows out of its right shoulder. The arm seems perfectly normal, and the mutant operates it just the same as his others. It must come in handy. This mutant is the builder.
I like that.
This mutant is the builder. That was especially for you, Jenny. This mutant is the builder that you purchased. The purchase of which seemed to raise some eyebrow with your fellow members of Cell 54. None of them saw the potential of the 3-armed dwarf mutant builder. But you did. Perhaps he can be put to use.
Building.
And as you come to the door, he looks up and he looks you in the eyes, and his eyes are they look perhaps sad somewhat. He looks at you and goes, "Well, hello there, sir. Name's Nick."
Nice to meet you, Nick. I'm Nixios. Call me Nix.
I surely will. And tell me, Nix, why have you brought me here on board this ship? What's going on? There's some big yellow cheese. Oh no, that's a huge block of cheese. The cheese is not that big, by the way. That's not to scale.
Oh no! I've deleted myself.
Oh no! Oh no!
Always thinking,
Cletus
what's undo? What's undo on the key command? Control Z, is it?
I've undone it. There you go.
Oh,
Behave yourself, Lizman. Tommy Lee told you to behave. Remember, don't delete
trying
yourself
to get rid of the cheese.
and create a giant piece of cheese. Let's
get rid of it.
change the size. Okay, so sorry, I've just got a bit distracted there, Nick. So, he said, I surely will, Nick. So tell me, why have you brought me? Why have you brought me on board this ship?
Well, Nick, my employer, the Inquisitor, probably don't understand what that is. Anyway, regardless, very powerful man, owns this ship, and has immense commanding power. He
As he's saying this, I'm just going to put my hands up behind him and go.
he
Continue.
asked us to, asked me to acquire mutant assets, people I thought would be useful, and assets to the ship and to my team. And I thought you had promise, Nick. I understand you're a builder, and that extra arm looks to me like it could be quite useful.
It often does come in hand, and I certainly apply my trade as a builder. I consider myself quite a handy man. I got a knack for many a thing.
The puns.
They're not going to stop. I'm sorry. But no, I can turn my hand to whittling. I can turn my hand to carpentry. I can.
God, I wish Quintius was here right now.
Turn my hand to boat building. I can turn my hand to all sorts of things. But he looks around the ship and he says, "But surely you got your own builders. How would you made this mighty ship of metal?"
Builders like you wouldn't believe, Nick. Would you like to learn something of what they know?
He looks and goes,
Technology far in advance of what you'll be used to.
He goes, well, and he scratches with his third arm. He scratches his head. He goes, well, I don't know if I got the smarts to learn all this sci-fi technology stuff, but I certainly happy to be working. It's what gives me my satisfaction in life. Is put myself to work, making things. Sure, that's why I live, is to work. I'm an industrious kind of man.
I have a thinking up in my brain noggin pan. I think you, like Nick here says, must have some real fancy building man that can make all kinds of crazy things. But can they make a boat out of a tree? Can they make a little hut for surviving in the bayou during the worst of storms? They don't know things like that. But Nick here, he knows things like that. Yeah? Am I right, Nick? Are you okay,
Nick starts to choke. He's not. Nick goes, sorry, it went down the wrong way. I've made you
rogue cheese. It's gone renegade.
Well, you're obviously a bioman. Yeah, sure, I can build a boat. My boats are renowned. I can do many things. You're surely right. Surely I can make myself a use. You know, I'm always happiest when I'm working.
Useful man. And I'm reaching into the bag as I say this. He's a useful man. He can be useful, maybe not on the ship, but in other ways. You know, I'm going to break off a bit of cheese and pass it to Nick to the bar.
Hey, Nick takes the cheese, sniffs it, goes, mildly indebted to you. Your name is
Tommy Lee Dangerfield. You don't think nothing about that now. It's just a little bit of cheese. Trying to make you feel like you're back at home in the bayou, you know, went down with the swamp and the crocodiles and all the alligators and all that kind of tomfoolery, you know.
He scruns it down. He goes, mighty indebted to you, sir. That's some mighty fine cheese.
You don't think nothing of it now. It's all cheese.
All cheese, all of the time.
All cheese, all the time. All the time.
He says to you, Nick says to you, Nick, he says, sure, just you let me know what you want me to do, send me to work. I'll make myself useful. I'll prove myself.
I like your attitude, Nick. You'll fit in here just fine.
Fit in fine dandy.
Okay, he bows his head.
Let's go have a look at 3366.
Okay. So in this cell,
Oh no, this guy here, cunt! We need to get rid of this motherfucker right now. No, I'm not really saying that.
where you are here, Nixios, you see here there's a big vat of presumably toxic gas here. This is the gas dispenser. So you've been told about there's a little keypad which is up here, close to the table.
306.
If you tap that in, obviously you don't know the code, Cletus, but yeah, if you type in the code, this will flood the whole cell area with the gas. So this is the distribution technology for that. So you look into the cell, and you see
Seems
that this cell is damaged. And you can only conclusion that you can take is that this big mutant inside has damaged it.
Yes.
Now you knew that the creature was sold as unnaturally strong, but now you see what this means in practice. It certainly seems unnatural that any man could damage the plasteel cell. But what strikes you more than the damage to the cell and the strength that it implies is the sheer mass of this mutant. He's grossly overweight, and he puts you in mind of the fatty that you battled down on the deck of the Victorious.
Mm-hmm.
You would need unnatural strength to move around all this excessive blubber. So yes, you look in, he looks up, he looks you up and down, and he seems there seems to be insolence in that glare. And he goes, well, what do we have here?
Sorry, I should laugh. It's serious.
This is the most serious episode of any Dark Heresy that you'll ever encounter.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
Yes.
serious is the name of the game. All right.
Word.
Dude. Super serious.
Yeah, he looks you up and he says, Will. Well, the cat dragged you.
He should say that. He should say that.
He does say that. What else is this for him to say?
Awesome. Good. I could say the same. I could say the same myself. And then I'm gonna hide behind Nixios.
Okay. What do you say, Saint Dave?
Yeah, do I maybe a bit metagaming, but do I know that he is not local?
Well, for a start, I say his accent doesn't sound typical.
It's a critical
bio
detail.
to you. You're not quite sure where it's from, but it definitely doesn't sound local to you.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe he's one of these city folk. You've never been to the city.
Okay.
To Changa City, where all the fancy folk live. I mean, maybe he's just
in the fancy homes.
Yeah. You don't think he's a bayou man? You don't think? You certainly never seen him around. You would have remembered him.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to turn to Nixios and just go, well, I don't know this one. This ain't one of people out of the bayou. He might be one of them ones that that got flattened by the Hawks. I don't know.
You trying to tell me that he's not from this planet?
I don't think so, sir. He don't speak like me. He don't look like us folk. And he's most bayou folk, they ain't fed as well as him, to put it politely.
Fed well? You're having a fucking laugh, aren't you? I've been fed fucking hours.
I think he's hungry, sir.
But give him some of that bio cheese. Just gonna whisper that to Tommy Lee. Give him some of the bio cheese quickly.
I'm just gonna stand.
He's hangry.
366, his nostrils flare.
Can't you see? Can't you see he's hangry? You need to sort that out.
I'm gonna just stare at him for a moment. I'm gonna unleash the bag from my shoulder, as if I'm gonna give him something. I'm just gonna sort of stop for a moment and go. No, I don't think I will.
And if you do this, the massive, gross mutant moves up to the door, to the bars of the cell, and he grabs hold of it and he shakes the door as best he can. And says, I'm fucking sick of this shit. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is going on? And why won't you fucking feed me?
What do you like to eat? Do you have a name, big man?
Yeah, of course I got a fucking name. Name's 3366.
That's
I
the
like
number.
to eat quite the same thing as any person. Food, don't know, anything. Meat. Yeah.
What name would you like? You know, you've been called this number. You know, you're a man, not a number.
No, that's my name, see? And he turns around, on the back of his neck, you see there's a barcode and the numbers 3366. And he says, this is my name. This proves it. Look.
Oh wow, yeah, you're right.
Dude.
Absolutely. Do forgive me. I've just never encountered a number as a name before. It's a mystery.
My friends call me 33, but you can call me 3366.
Oh, that's you've made that very clear to us. Well, perhaps in time we can be friends. What do you say, Nixios? Sir, I mean, sir.
I hope so. Do you think you can be an asset to this crew, 33?
Fuck off.
Oh, with that attitude, you'll stay hungry.
He starts to pace and he punches the wall, and you can see he's angry. And you realise there was two of these mutants, and you bought one of them. The other one was advertised as violent. So if this is the one who's not advertised, this one was advertised as lazy. Now you have a moment. You think, I'm very glad that I didn't buy the violent one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I knew it was a good idea. Save my money for 3-armed builder dwarves.
For a 3-armed dwarf instead.
Yep. Fuck it, 33. I'm going to feed you just because I like your big fat face.
Yeah, you better fucking get on with it as well.
Right, I'm going to order food for everybody, and then I'm going to go visit the bastard.
You're going to visit the bastard. Okay. So, just give me a sec. I'm just going for a quick slash.
I just fell down the fucking stairs.
No. Are you alright?
Yeah, I've just hurt my toe. I'm alright.
Slipped on some fish cake.
And some cheese.
And some bio cheese.
Yeah. Oh, bastard. Fucking bent my toe right back. I missed the last 2 stairs for some reason.
Oof.
So on refish.
The classic McMystery. That's what we call the McMystery. There you go.
I need to know if I've got all my inventory.
Take a chance with the new McMystery. It contains bio cheese and fish cake.
Reconstituted fish cake.
Reconstituted fish cake.
Cheese made from toe cheese of fucking my new member. The demonologist. I knew, right?
That's not true, Tommy. Is your cheese made from your toe cheese?
You knew what, Hayden?
At the start of the game, when you started smiling about the demonologist bit, I knew you'd picked him. I pointed at you. If you watch the replay, you'll see me point at you, say it's you, and then just before Alan reveals it, I'm still pointing at you again. I point at you again because I didn't want to say it down my mic, but I could feel it coming. It's because I knew I had a change as well, and I thought, I thought you'd be the only person. Was my reckoning, or maybe Johnny because like it's a random character, but
I had a feeling that one of the
you don't like role playing, not talking.
I gave everyone the option to change. I believe. I seem to think.
Yeah.
I had a feeling that one of the mutants was Hayden.
Yeah, I gave everyone the opportunity to take a character more associated with the chaotic path, which you all chose.
I would have carried on playing Kyoshi if it wasn't for the fact that it doesn't make sense from his background for him to play in this game. It really doesn't. He's a very pious man.
And plus, what Tommy Lee has already proven to be a lot more fun. I'm getting quite a lot of hints of old Greg, which
there's a little bit of old Greg in there, but it's got a little bit more of a southern twang.
Yeah, it's honestly like there's been a huge portion of this game I've been sat there going, just trying not to laugh. So I'm trying to keep a straight face through large portions of this game. It's been almost impossible. So. Okay, so where were we? You wanted to go and talk to the bastard, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you recognise this Lizardman as well, Tommy, but you don't know his name, but you're pretty sure that he's one of those bastards, one of Reptile's bastards, but you don't really know anything about him. And as you look into the cage. You see there's many bloody scars on his bald head. He doesn't look as strong or as powerful as Cletus does. You see he's also wearing a shock collar that looks identical to the other ones from Lost Hope. And he's just stood staring at a wall as you look in. He doesn't seem to acknowledge you.
I'm gonna turn to Nixios and say, I think this is another one of old Reptile's friends. I seen Reptile up close and personal many a time, but I don't know this guy, but I think it's one of his spawn.
Yes, from what I've heard, he was a prolific breeder.
Oh, he fucked everything and everyone that didn't move fast enough sometimes. But only the ones he could reach, because, we weren't a big fella after all. And some of the bigger ladies, he couldn't quite get up there.
Courtney's going to lean in and say, can you be so sure? And then just squint a bit. Just have a look. Check out scrutiny.
The sugar, lizard man?
I mean,
yeah. Oh, right, I see. Yeah.
Not all the lizard men bastards, I'm sure of that, but not all bastards. Now, I'm confused. Now, let me rethink that sentence. Just one moment. Not all bastards are lizard men, but all lizard men are bastards. No, wait, that's wrong.
Can I hear this down the corridor?
Yeah, the chamber's just by yours. So.
Oh, yes. You call it bastard man.
No, I'm not calling you a bastard, sir. I'm just using it in a term to mean exactly what it is. It's not meant as an insult, nothing like that.
Well, I don't know who my daddy is.
The beach was crowded with snow leopards.
One of them could have been the father.
It's for me.
Moment of goodness. Moment of insanity.
An awkward silence ensue, and you can hear the thrumming of the plasma engines of the ship.
I'm gonna approach this cell. Oh God!
Hey, you said this is my brother. Why you let me out? Beat him.
I don't know. I mean, he might be related to you. I ain't too sure how these things work. Or am I? I don't know. But I'm gonna walk on over to the bastard cell. Just gonna pull out a little bit of cheese. Just gonna hand it to the bar and say, hey, buddy, you want a little bit of taste of home?
The lizard man turns and he looks at you. But he doesn't say anything. He just makes eye contact with you with his unsettling yellow slitted eyes.
I mean, it's just a little bit of cheese, he's coming back from down on the bow. It's just, come on, take it, little buddy. Take it. Come on, it's just a little bit of cheese.
He doesn't say anything. He doesn't move. Just looks at you.
Well, it's your loss, my friend. And I'm going to eat the cheese.
Okay, more for you. He looks back at the wall. He breaks eye contact.
Then to Nixios say, this one, he ain't too talkative, and I don't know him. I don't know his name. I don't know his face. But like I say, I think he's one of old Reptile's boys.
Can I check Medicaid and see if there's something wrong with him?
Make a Medicaid test at -20 because you're not familiar with his mutant physiology. Okay. It's difficult to say. Is there something wrong with him? I mean, he's got multiple bloody holes in his head that have healed up, but they're quite fresh, these wounds in his head. Is there something wrong with him? I mean, you're pretty sure there is. If you didn't know any better, you'd say he was depressed.
Tell me, Lizard Man, do you have a name that we can call you?
He looks over you, and whereas there was a bit of contempt in the eyes of 3366, in the eyes of this lizardman, you see only a burning hatred as he looks at you, and he speaks. My name is Luke. Who am I addressing?
My name is Nixios. Please call me Nix. I'm technically your superior officer, and I'll be the one who decides if you get out of this cage. You could be an asset to the team. That wasn't you weren't part of my original selection. I believe you've met my other colleagues.
He looks you up and down slowly. And I mean, you're not quite sure what expression. You're not quite sure of reading the expressions on a lizardman's face, but it looks almost like a smirk. And he says, "You want me to be an asset? You want me to work for you? You're a fool. You people are monsters. Came to my world, you devastated my bio. You slaughtered my kin. What ruination you visited upon my world, and then you come and you take what? A bunch of paintings, and you leave without a moment's wait? You folk destroyed everything I hold dear just to get your hands on a painting? How many innocents, how many women and children's blood you have on your hands?"
Well, Luke, this may be difficult to understand, but the death of those innocents may save countless billions of others.
Okay, he spits on the floor at that.
These are the odds that we weigh up on a constant basis and tell ourselves that we're doing the right work.
I'd like you to make a fellowship test, please, at -20. He looks at you and he sneers. He says to you, "You already taken everything I hold dear. Everything. Even my nails. Now you want to work me like a slave? You may as well just put me out of my misery. I died down on the Victorious already. You've already killed me."
All the more reason to start a new life, wouldn't you say?
I'm gonna step in. I'm gonna say, my friend. Now, I believe that fate has brought us all together right here now. I know the planet. It give and it take, and it give you much, boy. And these folks may have taken something from you. But I seen things, boy. I seen things. And I know that I am where I'm supposed to be. And if I'm where I'm supposed to be, then you boy where you supposed to be. So you better wind that attitude in and start thinking real hard about how things are going to go from here on out. Because I tell you one thing. The butcher, when he comes to this world that we call home, when he come to the bayou, he ain't going to be best pleased from what I can understand. And I think you got more chance of being alive and living a life with these folks than you had back down there in that damn bayou with all those people down there. They're all gone. You make the most of what you got, boy.
I would like you to make a fellowship test at -20, but you have peer by you, I believe. I think you've got peer by you. If you do, add +10 for that. So, fellowship test at -20.
Hang on, my character sheet's going real slow.
I'll have a look. I'm very. I think you've got peer by you.
Hang on. I'm gonna have to shut this down.
Yeah, you do. You do have peer by folk. I was pretty sure that you did. So you had a +10 to any fellowship test to other bio folk. Yeah. So you're -20 +10, so -10 fellowship test, please.
Can I cast a power?
You can. You certainly can. Please, please go ahead.
I'm gonna try and cast a power. I'm gonna try and cast psychic cheese. That's not a real power. I'm fucking with you.
Yeah, it must be. Surely.
Disappointing.
That is disappointing.
In hindsight, I should have tried to make that a power. But I'd like to cast Knack.
Uh-huh.
Maybe you and Jan can develop the cheese.
Together. Somehow.
14, that's a pass.
Okay. So make your test. So you're testing on a straight test now.
Yeah. There's no benefit for overbleed, is there, on Knack?
I don't think so. I can check if you want. I don't think.
I'm just looking at it.
I don't think there's overbleed on any minor powers.
No.
There is at least on staunch fatigue or whatever it's called, at least.
True.
So there's at least one of them where you do.
Yeah.
All right. Fellowship. Straight fellowship.
Straight test, yes. Yeah, so it's +20 -20.
Oh, jeez.
It was meant to be. I seen it. It was meant to be.
He looks up. He looks up.
It's for building bridges with.
He looks up. And he goes, I heard of you. You're mad old Tommy Lee.
I prefer Tommy Lee, but okay.
Everyone says you're crazy.
People say I'm crazy, boy, but people don't know what I know. And I don't know why I know what I know. But I ain't crazy, boy. I just see things. And I know things. And I know that we're meant to be here right now. And if we are meant to be here, and you are here too, then you have a purpose too, my boy.
He looks at you and he says, little folk, you see, whatever you say, it always comes true, always.
I mean, I wouldn't say always, but pretty much all the time, yeah. I mean, there was that time that I bet on at a John Worm wrestling match and lost everything I owned. We don't talk about that, but yeah, most of the time, things come true that I see.
Luke, he looks you up and down and he says, well then, Tommy Lee, you say I'm meant to be here, you say I'm meant to work for these folk who have taken everything from me. That can't be right, surely not, but you want me to consider what you say. Get me my nails back.
You want your nails back? What, you like fingernails or?
No, my nails that they put in my skull when I was born. I've had them nails my whole life. And then this woman with metal all over her face, she pries those nails out of my skull. For what? For whatever reason. For torture? For fun? Because she wanted them? She took my nails from me. I want them back.
Okay, so just so I'm 100% clear, on what you're asking right now, my friend.
You know what a nail is. You know what a nail is. You ain't stupid.
You had nails put in your head when you were a little boy, and now you want them back because some woman took them from you. That's what you're asking for.
Yeah, some little lady, she stole my nails.
Okay, I get you your nails back. You consider them nails good as yours. Do you want some cheese?
Yeah, I'll take you up on that cheese.
Let's take a little bit of cheese there. You know, go just pass it on through the bars there, boy. You just take a little cheese. I'll get you your nails back. You don't worry about that none.
Okay, so Luke takes the cheese from Tommy Lee. It's good cheese, and his tail vibrates slightly when he eats the cheese.
It's real good cheese, boy.
A bit
I'm
like Cletus's did.
I'm gonna say to Luke, like, this lady who took your nails, perhaps she was part of the group who spared you, Planet Side, and I'll explain to him what she might look like. The Johnny's other character,
Alexa.
Alexa.
Yeah, that's her. A pretty lady, man, if you can look past all that metal all over her face.
Right, can I use my medikit to... no, but I could use the Auspex. I will use the Auspex skull to examine how those nails could possibly have interfaced with his head.
Okay, so I'd like you to make a scan. I'm not exactly sure how this works. I think you make is it a tech use test at plus 20? Is that right, Dave? I believe so for an Auspex.
It depends what the Auspex. It depends what the servo skull does. Generally speaking, an Auspex a servo skull gives you a plus 20 to awareness tests and things like that. But it's up to you. It's your game. I'll do with it.
Cool. Okay, well we'll go for a. I think in your case, I think tech use would be better. I don't know. Let's have a look at your character sheet. So I think we're going to go for a tech use at plus 20 to make this test, please. Okay, so the servo skull, it does its thing. You type in the commands to it on your data pad, and it does its thing. It scans and it starts the readings feed through onto the data pad, so you can see with your own eyes what's going on, and you can focus in the the parameters of the scan as it's going on, and you're seeing it in real time on the data pad. And when you say how could it possibly interface with this creature, you think that there's nothing in any way going on. As far as you can see, these nails were hammered straight into its skull and into its brain, and you're wondering how it's not been lobotomized. It must be lobotomized in some way, but there's nothing. How to put it? We're not talking anything special here. It's just nails that have been hammered into his skull, and those nails have been ripped out, and now there's just wounds.
Trying to figure out how he's still alive.
Yeah, well, the plenty gives, and the plenty takes.
Maybe we can give him nails that do make an improvement to him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, electro nails.
Okay, guys. So I think, my sessions only go on for 3 hours now, and I think the reason for that is because I think we're losing Hayden, or we lost Hayden. So I think we're going to end the session.
I'm
here.
still
We've
here.
had our first. Are you still here? Do you want to carry on, buddy?
Yeah.
Normally we go for 3 hours, mate. We're now at 3 hours and 10. It's up to you if we want to carry on. But it looks to me like you're flagging, buddy.
I'm flagging, but I'm still here.
It's up to you, mate. We can just leave it.
I'm enjoying myself.
You want us to carry on? Okay, no.
Yeah,
I just like I say that's why I offered to cut short the sessions to 3 hours, so that you don't have to miss out. You know what I mean? So we'll carry on, but if you change your mind or if we see that you've nodded off, we'll stop. Okay. So where are we? You lost James now. So okay. So while James is popping off, I'm going to get a much needed drink. I'll be right back.
I'm gonna go for a quick slash.
I'm gonna have a slash.
I'm gonna sit here and talk to myself, Tommy Lee, because there ain't no one else to talk to. So I'm just gonna keep talking, because I know things, and there's things in my brain that need to get out. So I need to make sure that everybody knows all the things that I know. And I know a great many things. I know the shoe sizes of all you folks right now. And I know that Nixios here, he's using a weapon of what he considers the enemy. And he knows that's real bad. But he don't care, because he's a little ragamuffin from beyond the stars. Little Easter egg there.
Sorry, what I miss?
What was that, James?
Did you call me a space muffin?
A space ragamuffin, I think. I was just everyone abandoned me, Al. Everyone went to the toilet at the same time, so I was just doing a random Tommy Lee monologue. For when you watched it back later.
Fantastic. Every now and again, I do see things on the watch back that I don't get quite often.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll hold up notes.
Yeah. I've had a really good few little moments where I've gone for a piss and I've come back and you've been talking about something. You've shut when I've come back, and when I watch the recording, you're like plotting against me and like speculating about what's going on.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch those little bits back, isn't it? So.
Yeah.
Okay, so where were we then? You've finished talking to Luke. He's after his nails. Was there anything else you wanted to say to this guy? Or okay, there's the door chime goes.
Yeah, I will do my best to get these nails back for you, Luke. It may be that we can improve them, and
What do you mean improve them? They don't need no improvement. They're already perfect.
well, leave that with me.
Okay, I'll put my trust into you, Mr. Nix.
There are many crazy things about this place. It's crazy that my companions would spare you on the planet side. It's crazy you would make your way up into this metal box, and it's crazy you would be of use to me up here. So, who knows what the future holds for us all?
I'm telling you, there's a reason that he's here.
They say everything that mad old Tommy Lee says comes true. Now, I thought there's no way on earth I would consider your offer. I thought it was folly. But mad old Tommy Lee, if he says it's coming true, it's coming true. You better believe that. That's what they all say.
Yeah, they sure say a lot about me. Those people, those nameless people. I was nervous to give the speech this morning. What?
So the door chime goes, bing, bing bong, and in walks a servitor. It's been allowed to come in by the guards, and it's carrying a tray, and it moves into the chamber, and it goes across to the table, and it puts down onto the table. It puts down a series of meals. It puts down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 7 meals here. There are 2 portions of roast boar with roast vegetables, and this is obviously leftovers still from the feast that's still ongoing. And even though it's at least a day old, it's still. Pardon me.
Outraged.
So good.
Sorry. I didn't catch that, James. Will you repeat that, please?
I said we didn't get this when we came aboard. I'm outraged.
No. There are 2 portions of this, and there are 5 portions of nutrient paste. So 2 of those meals you deduce are for you and Courtney. And the other 5 meals are for the slaves and for Tommy Lee.
Yes, of course.
There's also some water.
Yeah, maybe we should give them some water. Might be less angry. Let's see. What say you?
I will take my boar for 33.
Okay. As you walk up to the room, again he stands up.
I'll take him this
Yeah.
normal slop and
Okay. Double trouble.
Double
And his nostrils are flaring. And as you approach with the food, you see that this mutant does appear to be incredibly food centered. Or food focused, shall we say. And he's not looking at you at all. His eyes are only for the roast boar and the vegetables. And you see, quite unnervingly, this dangling of slobber start to come off the right side of his mouth and dangle down. And he just starts literally drooling as you approach.
Right. Step back 33. Here's some food for you.
33 obeys. He steps back.
I'll
It looks like he's trying to control himself. It's almost quite a nervous energy as his blubbery body starts to vibrate slightly. He tries to contain himself.
Yeah, so I'll open this door, I'll put the food in, close the door.
As soon as you close the door, he's on that food. And this is a disgusting display of a man who eats without any sort of social etiquette. He's just trying to get this food down his gullet as fast as he possibly can.
At least it ain't no leg.
doesn't savor it at all. He's trying to. He's like a dog, and he scrans down the boar. Then he scrans down vegetables. Then he scrans down the nutrient paste, and then he starts like licking the bowls and just getting every last bit of calorie content from his meal. And he looks up, and the look upon his face, it seems like he's just had a great pleasure to himself as he eats this food. And it's quite disgusting.
Well, you seem to enjoy that, didn't you?
And he looks up and he goes, "You got any more?"
Courtney's going to give hers as well.
Okay, you're going to give nutrient paste to or the boar as well, or sorry, yours is your meal. Sorry, is the boar and the vegetables.
No, I'm going to give the boar and the vegetables to the four-armed reptile mutant because he intrigues me.
Okay, so Lizardman, you have been brought a meal by the quite attractive, you must say, lady. She brings you roast boar, roast vegetables. Are you going to ask him to step back from the cell doors, presumably?
Just forgive me, but we step back before I pass you this. Usually, this will be reserved for me, but I see a lot of potential in you. A lot of potential.
Somebody kind of my lady. I will step back immediately due to your kindness being so almost in keeping with your beauty, but not just quite.
Oh, I do declare. Is that how they say it? Is that how they say it down on the?
I do declare.
I do declare. You have me. You have me at a disadvantage.
We'll have to want the color here, my lady.
I think you need an extra syllable in declare. I think it needs to be. I do declare.
Declare. Declare. And then I'm just going to sort of pass it through the whatever it's passed through.
Okay, so it's got like cell like barred doors, but you need to open the door to kind of put the food in.
Yeah, I'll do.
Actually, this is a real bad security risk. So
come on, let me open the door.
No. I'm going to use common sense and say that it has a little flap, just like every prison does. And you put a flap through, or you could open it and put it down normally if you wanted. But there is a flap if you want to use that, because why wouldn't there be?
No, I'm going to open the door,
Okay.
and then I'm
You
going
open it
to
up.
offer.
And I'm going to say to you, well, why don't we share this meal together and talk?
That sounds like a delightful idea.
All right, then, lady. Oh no, it's going to sound Australian then.
I'm gonna step in and just basically sit with him because it'd be nice to have like a 4-armed bodyguard. She sees great potential in this one. She'll go and sit down here. Shall we sit? It's been such a tiring day already. Even though she's done fuck all.
Courtney, you can't help but notice his prehensile tail.
Yeah, that's the thing that's really drawn me to him, and the 4 arms. There's a lot of potential there. A lot of potential.
As you sit down next to McCartney, my tail tucks up, ready for this meal. And I hold the plate with one hand, and I'll offer you a bit of food with the other.
Yeah, she's going to pretend that tail's nowhere near her, just because she's a bit of a tease. So, and then just start talking to him, like, I'm in need of someone like yourself. Just keep an eye on me. I sometimes wander about, and I don't know if I'm entirely safe here on this ship. It'd be nice to know that somebody's got my back.
I'll have you back if you could get me a pillow.
A pillow? I'm sure that can be arranged. I'm just going to comms in. Can we have a pillow brought in?
Who are you commsing, please?
I'm gonna comms one of the stormtroopers to go and get me a pillow. The doorway. Can we have a pillow brought to cell block, whatever it is? I'll just read it. Is there?
Get this man a pillow, Courtney. I suggest we go and get it. The job of the stormtroopers is to monitor these cells, and that is what they will stay doing.
All right, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
But don't rush.
Don't need a rush, mate. It's not even a problem. Can't have a shrimp on the barbie.
No, stop it! You
Give me a fucking pillow, you fucking pasty.
You fucking whinging pom.
Rack off.
However, I also recommend that rewards are offered for good behaviour and being a good asset. So
Okay.
These things will all come in time.
Nixios, I have a good feeling about this one. I think he's got potential.
I think you saw potential on all of them, planet side, and I certainly hope that they will fulfill their potential on this ship.
She's going to look at the reptile and his arms and his prehensile tail and be like, I think this one really could definitely fulfill some potential. And then just shall we eat? And then just gesture with the plate and place it down.
Food's good. The food's good, and clean.
And I take my time and I don't overchew to see, so she doesn't see the real size of my mouth.
She's going to she's just going to pick at it because she wants to let him have most of it because she just wants to study him a little bit and just like get an idea of what he's like.
Okay.
I'll say to you, so what role do you have in this ship?
Well, I can do. I'm not entirely sure. I can. If I'm honest with you, if I'm honest with you, well, that's fine.
How do you fancy get me out these shackles and set up business on this ship as well? What they tell us.
And then I'm gonna be like,
let's profit.
I'm gonna look at him and go, look. I'll be like, look, not on the first date. The shackles stay on, but I promise you something. If you behave yourself, if you prove yourself loyal
to our cause, then those shackles will be off, and I can promise you a life of adventure and a life of glory in the name of the Emperor.
In the name of the Emperor.
And redemption.
Redemption? Well, in the name of the Emperor. Do you know what happened to the rest of Orpheus' force since that was taken?
Yeah, we blew it up. No, I'm joking. we didn't blow it up.
You see a weird reptile double blink from the side of the eyelids when you say that.
Yeah.
There's like a slight reaction.
Okay. I was just testing you, dear. I'm sure there was some survivors. And they will rebuild. It'll be fine.
What part of Orpheus 4?
Well, right near Port. I can't say something.
Do you call Grimsport home?
What Chula is it?
Grimsport.
I didn't think you had any love for Reptile.
Say that again, boss.
I didn't think you had any love for Reptile.
Oh, no, it's not love I was on about. I didn't say who it happened. I just asked what happened to the area what I was in. I was only asking.
It was reseeded with delicate flowers, and population were treated kindly. So don't worry about them.
I mean, Reptile. I don't think there was too many folk that had
and she's going to offer him. She's going to offer him some recap whilst maintaining.
To be honest, I'm not bothered about if my father is dead or alive. If he is my father, it's never been confirmed, but look. So, yeah, I just think that I'm not worried about that slice of information because, as I say, never had anything done with me, never had anything done with him. So, as far as I know, he's a stranger. I know you lot better than I do him at this point in time. So, I'm not worried about that stuff. I have my own business, split two-way. It was.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you right now, boy. You look a lot like him, but you're much taller. You know, you're a little fella, not too big.
A lot bigger as well. Whereas Reptile looked like a man, Lizard I look like a lizard.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
I'm not ashamed of the fact. It's just people don't accept me much around, especially now I'm in chains with a collar on my neck.
I'm not sure we can allow you chaps to walk around the ship just yet. I'm not sure.
Well, I would not be interested in that. I just do not want this itchy collar on my head. Just keep me in the cell. But I just do not like the thought of this thing just blown up my head for me not doing anything wrong to any of you. I'll be an asset of any way you want it. Anyway, if you don't mind me, folk, I'm gonna get myself some shut-eye. It's been a hard day with him banging in the corner. He gets frustrated. He gets frustrated any time. And he starts smashing himself. Wait. I'll go sleep now. See you later.
Catch you later, Cletus.
Okay, you've got by the way, you've still got 4 portions of nutrient paste left to divvy out.
Oh, thank you very much for my oh no.
I think we lost Johnny by the looks of it. Johnny's frozen, he's been frozen for some time, so I don't think he can answer you, so.
Well,
but you offer your thanks to Courtney and she blushes slightly. Oh, you are.
Let's give Luke and Nick some nutrient paste.
Okay, so I'll leave you with 2 portions.
And
they both take the paste and they tell just before we move on, Cletus, this food excellent in the sense that you've been a slave for at least a year, I'd say. I can't remember exactly how long, but you've been a slave for a good while. So you don't get good food as a slave working the mines. It's.
And I can imagine I'll be getting full on half a portion after being on shit rations for a year.
Well, it's you eat until you're physically hurting, and it's good stuff. And this is the nicest meal you've had in at least a year.
Johnny says he'll be back soon.
Okay. So you've still got. So you give one to Luke and one to Nick. That leaves 2 portions of nutrient paste left. The people who haven't eaten, Nixios hasn't eaten, Tommy Lee hasn't eaten, and Courtney's had a little bit of Cletus's, but she's not had a full meal.
Has Tommy Lee got a collar on?
No.
Yeah. So
no, he's another slave.
Yeah.
He's
I'm a slave.
He's a treasured guest.
I'm a guest aboard this vessel, and I demand to be treated as such. No, that's not what I say.
He's on the other side, He's got a bed here in the actual outer chamber with you as well, Nixios.
Sleep tight, Nixios. I'm sharing a room with y'all.
You want some nutrient paste? It's no bayou cheese, but
I mean, it sounds delightful. I'm sure I can spice it up a little bit with a little bit of bio cheese. You want some bio cheese on yours, Nix?
Fuck it, yeah, go on then. I'm try
Okay, so you're gonna have. Okay,
sprinkle a bit of bio cheese into mine and Nixios's portion. I'm not going to eat all of mine. I'm not a big guy.
Okay.
I'm very emaciated.
Okay, so the nutrient paste, it's it is filling. It's got calorific content in there, but there's no pleasure to be had from nutrient paste. Even down on the bayou, you still get decent food. You still get you're still living off the land. This paste, it's like gruel. It's there's no pleasure from it, but the cheese does lift it somewhat.
Yes.
It does elevate it. But it does give your body what it needs, but there's no no one likes eating nutrient paste. There's always better.
It's laced with bio cheese, because then it's all totally different.
It's like a cheesy soup.
It's like a cheesy soup. But as I sprinkle the cheese onto Nixios's food, and onto my own, I'm gonna reach into my pocket and I've got, like I said before, I've got rotten teeth, just a few stumps. I'm going to reach into my pocket and pull out a set of wooden teeth made of dark wood, and pop them in before I start to eat the nutrient paste. And I'm going to eat maybe like 2/3 of my food and offer the rest to Courtney when she gets back. Because I'm not a big fella. I don't need it.
No.
I'm 5'7". I weigh 60 kilos. And I have a wasted frame.
Oh dear, you're tiny.
Yeah,
I'm not big at all. I'm small. I think I'm smaller than Quintius.
Well,
the taste is filling as well.
I'm 6'9". I have 4 arms, an tail, and I weigh 120 kilograms.
I'm going to
lean and deadly.
Yeah, lean and deadly.
Here you go. Look. Hang on. Oh, look at Discord chat, Hayden.
Give me a second.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, excuse me.
Make me change my settings. Show chat. Yeah, I'm in chat. I've got hey baby. Johnny says Taylor lost my screen. Are you here, Johnny?
He's not in the chat, I don't think.
Who's that? Is that your guy?
That's Tommy Lee.
That's
what it looks like.
It looks like fucking
Gandalf.
Hobo Gandalf.
Hobo Gandalf.
I'll be right back. I'm
That's exactly what he is.